As the leader of the Booner Path, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time with Jeff, Booner, Lukas, and Gentry. It is Thursday, September 5th.
The kickoff of the NFL season.
Klotz, I'm gonna, as I know you're my CPO, I'm gonna advise you: don't ever do that again into the screen.
No, NFL is back, Boone. Nope.
Yep.
I mean, a fake, at least scream. Let something out, you know.
You can't. I'm flexing. I'm doing.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, he's
Let me get hype, Boone.
Let me get hype, brother.
In the shirt. Shirt looks good. You can get that. Officialctsports.com. Look at that. Get that too. Football's back in the Booner Path. Look at that. Follow the Booner Path. Boys are all wearing something today.
Get your merch.
Yep, get your merch.
Wait a second. Yeah, I just never mind. You guys are funny, man. I love you guys. I think my computer's behind. It just popped up on my screen. It was like, you're now live. And it was like just now. It was just like, and my Wi-Fi switched to a different Wi-Fi. I don't know. Like, I don't know. My computer.
Okay. Well, we lock in because football's back. Ravens Chiefs delayed. It's supposed to start at like 8:30. Now it's like getting pushed back. So we'll be live. So while you're waiting for the game, watch the game at the same time, simultaneously. Do it because we'll be giving our picks out in a little bit. AG spoke to the media. Ben Johnson spoke to the media. All the assistant coaches. We'll get to that as well. Also, we're doing our playoff picture, I guess, for the AFC and NFC. All the teams that will make the playoff. We have all our teams officially locked in. So we're going to go through them today. Where we have the Lions, what teams we have making it, what teams we don't have making it.
Yeah, who's winning the Super Bowl, baby?
And who's winning the Super Bowl? Now,
I'm not spoiling mine.
I will say, and just before we get to the Lions, what do you guys make of the Ravens Chiefs? Some thoughts. How do you think it goes tonight? It's in Arrowhead.
Yeah,
Inclement weather.
I'm gonna say this. I wanted to pick the Ravens. A lot of people, I think, are starting to pick the Ravens because the Lions dominated, and the Lions did something that no other team's ever done in the Patrick Mahomes era, is beat the Chiefs in the opening weekend. I think they are now 7-1 on opening week, or 6-1, something like that. Someone can fact check that. Give me the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win. They're getting back. They're not playing the Lions tonight. They're playing the Ravens. They're going to get back to their normal ways. The Lions aren't messing with them. Lamar Jackson, he plays good in games, but you're on the road. The Chiefs. This is what I'm going to say real quick too. And I know I'm getting on a tangent now about the Chiefs, but this is the thing with the Chiefs. And I've learned this at an early age in my life. It was really mostly just last year. Never bet against the Chiefs. I see a lot of people trying to be smarter than football and smarter than the computer and smarter than Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. This team's, I don't want to spoil anything for later. The Chiefs are very, very good. This is the best Chiefs team we've ever seen. And this three, they've won a Super Bowl 3 times. This is the best team we've ever seen. So give me the Chiefs tonight. And that's a little teaser for later too.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson only has beaten the Chiefs one time in his career in 2018. So that's not even when Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. Since then, the Chiefs have absolutely owned that matchup. I think Derrick Henry on the road in a tough environment will be nice. But at the end of the day, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I mean, we can be real as Lions fans. I don't know if the Lions win week 1 if Travis Kelce and Chris Jones are playing. Now they have those two back for week 1. They're on the momentum train of, they can't three-peat. They can't three-peat. They got Xavier Worthy out there. I'm not sure. What's the status on Rasheed Rice, too? Have we heard anything about that? So
yeah, he's
full
playing.
go? Okay, so
he didn't get any suspension or anything.
That's actually pretty wild. I was waiting for that to happen. But, I mean, the weapons they have upgraded. I think Isaiah Pacheco's about to have the best season of his career just because there's weapons outside of there now. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'd probably go Chiefs 31, Ravens 27. That's my score prediction.
Got the Chiefs covering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think the Chiefs win tonight. If this was the Chiefs team from a couple of years ago with the offensive line they had, I'd be more worried. But even in these type of conditions, they can still run the ball. Isaiah Pacheco, very fine running back. They're going to be able to run the football. Pat Mahomes, with the weapons they have. I know they have Juju Smith-Schuster. I don't know if he's playing tonight. I don't think so. But they still have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce. They have enough. And it's hard. I get why people would be picking the Ravens. It seems like it's their time to finally at least get one back, even if it's in the regular season, get a win. But until I just don't have faith, even at this point. I even though they have a great defense, Lamar Jackson in Arrowhead. I'm going with Andy Reid. I'm going with Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. So if it was in Baltimore, maybe I'd have a slight different opinion. But at home to open up the season, you got Taylor Swift in attendance. I don't know. So
let's not bring that up. I pray to God we don't have to deal with another season of that. If there's another season of Taylor Swift every 5 seconds on the goddamn camera, it's gonna. When does it stop? Stop acting like the bitch is a superhero or something. Let's calm down.
Klotz.
She can.
Excuse me, but Klotz. Who cares? Like, she's on screen. I hate the people more who complain about Taylor Swift than actually Taylor Swift.
No, because it's like if it's anybody else,
like, you're
if it's
the reason that
else,
they keep bringing it up is because you keep complaining about it. Quit complaining. It's Taylor Swift. She's going to be there.
No, for the love of God,
it's not going to change her being there. She's going to be there. Like I keep hearing, get her out of the game. Get her. Dude, she's going to be
go to the game. She can go to the game. I don't care if she's at the game. What does she have to do with the game? Absolutely nothing.
Dude,
I'm turning on the game.
Just like John, you
said
in the chat, it is a business. The NFL knows what they're doing.
Dating.
If Taylor Swift showed up to our live event, I promise you, Klotz, I will throw her on camera and we will milk it. And I promise you that. So, like,
well,
I'm not complaining.
If there wasn't a game going on, that's fine. But if there's a game going on, I want to watch football. If Jay-Z's in the stands, they show once, move on. If Beyonce's in the stands, they show once, move on.
That's where it's just that I lose you on that.
I know you love your Taylor Swift music.
I don't care about Taylor Swift.
Nothing to do with football.
It's just like if any like we've never complained about broadcast showing celebrities
because it's never been this much.
It's never been bringing in money. Welcome to the real world.
All they care about is money, and it's
to the real world.
The game.
Oh,
I mean, gosh. You remember last year when all the videos were coming out about more, girls watching the NFL because Taylor Swift was there in attendance? Like, and I think
is that really what you want? Is that really what we want?
I really don't care if that means more money's going to the game and there's more money for us to make because we are a part of the NFL. I'm fine with it. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and complain. Hey. Bring more awareness to the game of football, Klotzy. That's our business, right?
Taylor Swift fans is exactly what the NFL needs.
Klotz, we're not in high school anymore. Welcome to the real world, brother. Bring more business to the game.
I realize that, but unfortunately, Taylor Swift fans are the last people I ever want to hear in my life.
There's a lot of them.
Either embrace it or turn the game off. Embrace it or turn the game off.
Hey, it's exactly why the NFL is going to Brazil. Is it smart? Probably not. But they want to globalize the game. And Taylor Swift brings in an audience that wasn't necessarily interested in the NFL before. So we know where you're doing, NFL. I don't like it either, but it is the reality.
But yeah, I'm just tired.
I think the over under on how many times they show Taylor Swift in the suite. I'd say it's about 5.5.
Yeah, I think that's a fair line. That's a fair line.
I would probably say over. I would probably say over on that.
Any touchdown, any Travis Kelce big play.
Yeah. So at 5.5.
J-Rod said, Klotz, I'm with you, not the guy in high school. J-Rod probably still is in high school, so I'm just kidding.
You're
Shout out
like it right now by saying shit like that.
Hey,
I'm not gonna complain about it. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it.
But some people don't have to like everything.
Yeah, well, if Gentry's going to join a little bit, we better get this T Swift talk out of the way.
We got a video about Gentry with T Swift.
Gentry, he's very confident and very upfront about it that Taylor Swift is the GOAT. I mean, he's made that clear multiple times. Sorry, Gentry, but that's the truth.
I mean, she numbers wise, you can't really argue.
Like
statistically, it would be like arguing like Tom Brady isn't just because you don't like Tom Brady, you know.
That's fair. All right, so. I want to bring up some of the things that happened today. Aaron Glenn speaking to the media. I want to play this clip first because he did give Aiden Hutchinson some love on what he expects out of him this Sunday. First game of the season. This is where you make your mark on being Defensive Player of the Year. It starts this Sunday. So let me Let me play this for you guys. This is credit to the Detroit Lions for this. This is Aaron Glenn on Aiden Hutchinson and what he expects out of him this Sunday. Let's hear from AG.
Listen, Hutch has had a tremendous offseason. He had a tremendous training camp. And now he's at that point that he needs to set his sights at being, if not the best player defensively in this league, to one of the best players, which he is. All right. But now it's time for him to look at himself as the best player. When it comes to Mac, man, listen, he was growing at a rapid pace last year until he got the injury when he was out for like 4 games or whatnot. And then he came back and played, I think, the Minnesota game for a couple of reps. And then he played in this game in the playoffs. And you saw those flashes of him being a dominant player. So I look at him the same way I look at Hutch. I mean, I expect him to be a dominant player in this season.
I mean, the expectations are there. If
sure.
we don't get anything outside of like a 2-sack game on Sunday, I'm going to be honest. I know it's high expectations, but it will be a little disappointing. I mean, it may be that the sacks aren't the only thing you should be looking at, but in turn, just wrecking the game, constantly in Matthew Stafford's face, winning consistently. That's what you want to see, because this is a guy that led the NFL in quarterback pressures, which is great, by the way. Quarterback pressures, it's not that it means nothing, but you got to capitalize those sacks, man. And he made Matthew Stafford pay. It's got to be similar this Sunday. I expect 2 sacks at Aiden Hutchinson. That's how you start a defensive player of the year campaign.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it all summer, and that's we could have these conversations all we want. It's a long off season. Right? It's 6 months you're sitting there, so you start coming up with these conversations, and one of them is Aiden Hutchinson being one of the best defensive players in the NFL, and that's outside noise, like the media making that noise. But when your defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn comes out in game week first, and he's like, hey, my expectation isn't for him just to be one of the best or one of the best. It's to be the best defensive player in the entire NFL, like over Micah Parsons, over TJ Watt. Like that's AG's expectation for Aiden Hutchinson. Like this guy's expectation, his ceiling, what they want out of him this year is something have we ever had a defensive player of the year award winner in Detroit? I don't think Sue ever won it. Has anyone ever won it in Detroit? It would have to have been a long time ago. Robert Porcher, maybe like that far back. It's my guess, but you could be seeing like one of the best defensive players in Detroit Lions history. Like if the way he's talking is like, hey, he needs to be the best in the entire NFL. I think he goes out there this week, and you guys already know. I said it yesterday. He's going to go out there, and you have to set the tone for the season. You've seen Aiden Hutchinson at times maybe start slower, go on these little stretches where he struggles a little bit and say, hey, where'd Hutch go? Maybe with injury. Just go out there, head down, balls to the wall, go get 2 or 3 sacks on Sunday night. Go get a couple tackles for a loss. Go get a couple tip passes, force a fumble. Be the game wrecker that he's supposed to be. Like, that's the expectation for Aiden Hutchinson for me. Like, set the tone, show everyone that you want to be defensive player of the year, and that's how good you are. Because, like, he's got – it's like one of those things where it's like, can these guys get that much better? Like, Amon-Ra, how much better can he get? Hutch has improved that much more this year, and it's shocking. The reports out of camp is insane, just how he just manhandles everyone. And when they were with the Giants, he manhandled at joint practice. So I'm pumped. My expectations for Aiden Hutchinson are probably some of the highest on the entire football team to win the defensive player of the year. So it starts Sunday night. AG has to say, hey, Booner, AG, shake some hands there. We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I mean, it better be a long night for the Los Angeles Rams offensive line. They're down 2 guys. Jonah Jackson's playing center. This is a perfect moment for Aiden Hutchinson to go out there and game wreck. And if Aiden Hutchinson doesn't, it better be because he's going to double and triple team, and Ali McNeil, Marcus Davenport, and the rest of the company are cleaning up the backfield. I think Aiden Hutchinson, both getting to the quarterback and stopping the run, he's going to play a huge role in that, especially when Kyron Williams breaks outside. If he can contain him and throw him into the middle with Ali McNeil, Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, he's going to be game wrecking all night. And I think if he doesn't, it'd be disappointing. There's no way that Aiden Hutchinson should go out there and get 1 sack. He could go out there and get half a sack. Like, this is an opportunity for him to go out and prove Booner's narrative right about winning Defensive Player of the Year. It would be disappointing if he didn't go out and get at least 2 sacks, in my opinion. Following all this hype, the secondary is better. You expect Aaron Glenn to be sending pressure all night, which is only going to help out Aiden Hutchinson. So Hutch, he'll dominate on Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just Hutch either. It's a lot of. I think there's a lot of pressure on this defensive line, like given what it was last year.
Yeah.
Hutch was incredible. Aleem showed flashes, but besides that, man, the cupboards were bare. I mean, that's how it was. So this game, it's not just Hutch. Like, yeah, Hutch, you have the highest expectations for, but I'm looking at Davenport. I'm looking at Aleem McNeil in a contract here. James Houston, does he play some snaps? What does he do? How does he look? And does DJ Reader even play? Which I still don't think he will. I think he plays the following week. But there's a lot more question marks than just how does Hutch play. He's the biggest storyline. But the thing last year was give him some help. And we're about to find out on Sunday if he's got help. Like we're gonna find out if Davenport can play. Because let's be real here. That Rams offensive line, they got better on the interior. They have some injuries on outside for their tackles, which Davenport is going to have a mismatch, and he's going to have to take full advantage of that. So, and another guy, Levi, who you've been higher on this summer, Booner, and so have the coaching staff. Like that's another guy, especially if DJ Reader is in play. So, I think one of the things I'm focused on, yes, it's the secondary, yes, it's the entire defense, but more so, man, you want to look at this pass rush because something I've always said is at the trade deadline, that's where I think you'll know by then, obviously, if you need more help. And you can go trade and acquire an edge. But you're going to find out Sunday, man, what they got. Because go out on Sunday, get 4 or 5 team sacks. Aiden gets 2 of them. Aleem gets 1. Go out there and dominate.
If you look at the moves that were made this offseason, and we said it last year, and I think it's the same thing with the corners. The 2 worst position groups last year were the corners and defensive line. They do, like to your point, Jeff, they have, like the defensive line might have the most to prove out of anyone on the football field come Sunday night. Like you're going up against a depleted Rams offensive line that they had to move guys around. Jonah Jackson potentially playing center. Like they're moving guys around, trying to patch things up. To that point, Jeff, like all those guys you listed, Levi O, this is a perfect, like if you've been doing what you've been doing all offseason, this is the perfect game to get things started and show the people what you've been doing and kind of your improvement and how you're not injured anymore. So they have to go out there, like they have to start strong, like build the confidence in game 1 instantly with this defensive line. So when week 2, week 3, week 4, you can just keep getting better and better and better. Like Davenport, I hope this guy stays healthy, but I hope on Sunday night he shows up and he wreaks havoc on Matthew Stafford on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson. He might be one of the more important pieces to this defense because you do need a piece on the other side of Hutch. And if he can end up being that changes a lot for this defense.
Well, let's hear from AG. He talked about Terran Arnold as well because it will be his debut as a rookie. So let's hear from the Lions DC on the rookie cornerback.
Player in this defense because it fits who he is. And as a corner, I mean, things happen in this league. And I would tell you this, that's probably one of his better traits is he can move on to the next play. And I'm talking good or bad. The one part in training camp that really stuck out and a situation happened with I think it was him and CD Carton, and he was the first one as a young player to say, "Hey man, let's forget about that. Let's go on to the next one." When I heard that let me know everything about who he was. I mean, good or bad, he's ready to move on to the next play, and that's a really good trait for a corner.
It's
a rookie.
Yeah. He said they asked him and your expectations. He said, "I expect him to be very good." And I think AG should say that about his rookie corner week 1. But for us, what are you guys realistically expecting out of him week 1? Is it greatness or is it, hey man, just keep Cooper Kupp or whoever, Puka? It'll probably be Cooper Kupp. Just keep the dude under 60, 70 yards. Where are you guys at with what do you want to see out of the rookie? Because
I would say this, and for AG, I love the point that he brought up. He just his next play. He had brought up a point later in the press conference that he mentioned him and Carlton Davis. Maybe it was there and I just missed it, but him and Carlton Davis made a big mistake in camp on a play, and he was the first one to be like, "Yep, let's move on, next play. Who cares?" And he was like, as soon as he heard that, hey, he's going to be a dude in this league because you have to be able to move on. I think it's like that at any position, but obviously corner, you're going to give something up at some point. So you're going up against the best in the world at the toughest position. You're going to give something up. You have to be able to move on. My expectations for him, I think he's going to Dan said it on 97.1 the other day. This guy, he's tough. He's extremely tough, but he's still young and he's a rookie. So Terrion's going to make mistakes. he's going to give up some plays. And that's just it's how it is until he kind of figures the game out a little bit more in the NFL. The game slows down for him. He's able to figure out different things that, like, and I'm sure Carlton's been helping him and Amik's been helping him. He just needs to sit back, let the game slow down, and don't, in my mind, it's like, don't make mistakes because you're like questioning yourself. Like, I want him to be going 100% full speed. And if you're going full speed and make a mistake, all right, cool. You're a rookie. Let's move on. Like, I think he's going to make an impact. I've said Terrion is one of those guys to where it's going to be hard to take a guy like him off the field, as Brian Branch was last year. I expect Terrion Arnold to be like, his presence to be known on Sunday night. Even though he's going to be CB2, Carlton's going to probably have the Puka or the main assignment there. I still think, though, like Terrion Arnold, the doc said it. Terrion Arnold pick 6. I don't think I'm going to put a Booner stamp on that, but I'm going to tell you what, it's going to have a couple pass breakups.
I mean, it'll probably, to be honest, and Lucas, you think it'll be a Meek on whoever's in the slot? Puka has CD. And then Terrion gets like DeMarcus Robinson. Is that how you?
I mean, I think Terrion's. I don't think we're going to see Carlton Davis travel that much, to be honest, because between Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, they're both elite. I think if Cooper Kupp stays healthy, this will probably be the best wide receiver duo this year. And for Terrion Arnold to go out there week 1 and go up against him, like, he's definitely going to struggle. But I think this is a game that it's going to be the perfect week 1 for him, because I'd rather him start off against the best of the best. And then when you're in a division with all these wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, all the Packers wide receivers, we all know the weapons. I don't think there's a better and more favorable environment for him to start off, because he is going to struggle. But like Aaron Glenn said, he's going to forget about it, and then he's going to go and make a play. I think when you get the Ford Field rocking on 3rd down, we're going to see what Terrion Arnold can do. And I think especially in the run game, like, people don't understand like how good he can be in the run game. This man was recruited to play safety for Nick Saban. And they're like, you're too good at coverage to keep it safety. Let's move you. So when it comes like in the run game, I think that's where we're really going to see Terrion make a presence, because like we just said, Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to be making a big presence, but he can't stop every run by himself. Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, they're going to mess up. I mean, we even saw guys like Cam Sutton last year on Monday night against the Packers, laying out Aaron Jones, making him cartwheel. I think those are the type of plays that you're going to see out of Terrion Arnold, and I think the same thing can be said about Amik Robinson. Like, both those guys in the run game, I think are going to make a huge impact.
Mm-hmm. I am curious. I mean, I think Terrion this week, my expectations, just go there and look like you belong. I don't expect him to go out week 1 and face, like you kind of alluded to and talked about there, Lucas, the best wide receiver duo, if not one of the best in the NFL, to go out there and shut one of them down. I asked that question because if you have Amik in the slot and Cooper's lining up in the slot, or Puka, whoever, like, how are they going to treat that? Do you put Terrion on him, or do you just say, all right, Amik, he played for the Raiders, so he's at least played out there and faced some pretty good wide receivers. So I don't know how they handle it, but for Terrion, just look like you belong. And to AG, what AG said there about having that, that goldfish memory where you just kind of forget things. On Sunday, you're going to have that a lot. I mean, there's going to be plays where Terrion gets burnt. There's going to be plays where he gets beat. It's about how he responds, and we know what he is, what he can be in terms of being a ball hawk. So I want to see ideally more good than bad, obviously. But the guy's human. He's a rookie. Like, I expect on Sunday, there's going to be mistakes. So I'm not going to panic. He's not going to be perfect. But like you guys said, it's about how do you build off of week 1? Like, what happens week 2, week 3, week 4? What happens week 10? And how does that film compare to week 1? That's what I'm interested to see.
As long as he doesn't look like Jeff Okudah out there, I think we're going to be fine, and I'm going to be happy. Don't go out there and look like our former number 2.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Jeff Okudah looked like Jeff Okudah from week 1 to his work year to year 2, year 3. I mean, that was just yeah. Like, that's why it's not just about week 1. Like, Jeff Okudah, like, coming out, you're like, damn, okay, he struggled, and then it's like, all right, we're week 10, he's still struggling,
still going.
Yeah, like, so it's about how he can build off of it. AG also talked about Brian Branch, what positions he'll be playing. And this, I think, is one of the bigger storylines because he's moving back to safety, but don't count out how much he's involved in the slot. So let's hear from AG about it.
Been a safety. You guys just haven't seen my safety a lot. He's been getting those reps in practice quite a bit, even last year. The thing is, we just needed him at that spot, and he did a really good job at the nickel spot. And that doesn't mean he's not going to play nickel. So I want to get that out of everybody's head right now. You know, he's going to play safety. He's going to play nickel. He's going to play dime. So he's going to be all over the place. And the reason why we're doing that is he's a damn good player. So we're going to put him in position to make plays. But I would say this. You talking about meeting room. You talking about practice. You talking about a man that's like upped his communication, that upped his leadership skills as far as influencing guys. He's done that, and he's done it at a high rate, in my opinion.
Can you explain why he's more valuable to you in that role, like playing everything, or maybe starting in safety rather than just anchoring to like that?
Say it one more time.
Why is he more valuable to you in the defense, playing everywhere, playing?
Because he can do so much, and when you have an instinctive player like him, you want to allow him to be to move around, and he's a smart player, so he can play in the box at the nickel, right, and be to make plays down low. He can play deep safe and be able to intercept balls. You know, if you watch him in Alabama, he's done that. He did that quite a bit. You watch him in our practice, he did that quite a bit. He's made a good amount of plays in the back end that you want to see from that player. And the thing is, we know that he can do it, so we're going to put him in those positions to be able to do that.
I mean, whoo, I'm fired up.
Brian Branch is about to have a season.
Am I the only one? Like, we'll get like Brian Branch. We know he's a great football player. Watching AG, that man does command a room. I mean, I will say that man commands a room. Okay, whether you dislike him as a coach for whatever reason, for how the defense has looked, even though you may not have acknowledged how bad the personnel was when he first got here. AG can definitely command a room. He has qualities to him that would indicate to me he would be a good head coach. Now, in the league today, if you're a defensive-minded head coach, you got to have a great OC. That's important. You could be either D'Amico Ryans or you could be Robert Saleh with Nathaniel Hackett. So, or D'Amico Ryans with Bobby Slowick. So, but from how he commands a room, I think AG, we'll see. I think this defense is going to be very, very good this year. I think they'll be at the minimum top 10 to 12. They could be higher than that. He's going to get more interviews. Like, I think there's a world where the Lions lose both assistants this year. Like, there is a world out there. I would bet on one, but I don't think it's impossible they lose both. Like, I think AG and Ben could probably, now it depends on what situations are available. That has to matter. But man, if there's some good organizations opening up, you could lose both, man. Like, I'm telling you, AG can. Players love that man.
He was voted out from, I think it was the players' vote at the end of last season, the most liked assistant coach or defensive coordinator in the NFL. Like AG, the guys, players love him. And like you said, he commands the room. Watching his press conference today, and it's the same thing with Ben too. Like, I noticed that with Ben. Jeff, me and you talked about with the OCs like years ago when Ben first started. Like, he wasn't that great doing interviews and anything. And then today he goes in there and, dude, he just commands the whole room. Like, when he talks, you listen. You ask a question, you listen to what he has to say. It's the same thing with AG. I will still say this though, like his confidence in Brian Branch. I think we all have had. It's the same thing with Hutch. We've all had this expectations of Brian Branch taking a jump. And AG today confirmed, like, he's going to play nickel. He's going to play safety. He's going to move around. The reason they're going to do that is because they just do not want to take this guy off the field. Like, they're like, we can't. He is just too good to not have him out there. Like last year, we went over the snap count in like the NFC Championship game, and it was drastically lower than some other games that he played in the biggest game of the year. And you cannot have one of your best defensive players off the field. You can't. They were just taking him out of the game. So now the fact you're able to move him around, he's able to help you out in different spots. Like Brian Branch, I've said it before. This is the Pro Bowl All-Pro season for him. It's the year 2 jump that you see out of some players. He's going to go out there and become an All-Pro player this year. And I think it's like Klotz said, like he could end up being the best safety in all of football come this season. And I would not be shocked if that happened, especially behind a guy like AG. Guys, the AG hate, I was one of the ones a while ago with the AG hate. He just needed the weapons and the players around him. That's all AG needed. That's all he needed.
Yeah, Brian Branch is due. I think Brian Branch was playing at a Pro Bowl level last year. You look at him, he's manning up on Justin Jefferson in the red zone. He's tackling Bijan Robinson in the backfield. And in the playoffs, he's manning up on, ironically, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So that's another name that I know Aaron Glenn just mentioned it, but we talk about guys shadowing. In my opinion, when it comes to just overall player, Brian Branch is the most sure tackler on this team. He's the best pound for pound in coverage, and he's the most intelligent. He's going to be making the most plays and creating turnovers for this team. So Brian Branch, he has a real shot just starting week 1, too, against this matchup on prime time to not only build his all-pro case to prove that he could possibly be the best defensive player on this team, regardless if Aiden Hutchinson is not. And that's obviously not a slight at Aiden Hutchinson. That's just showing you how good Brian Branch can be. It still blows my mind. I thought this man was going to be a top 15 pick locked, that he fell all the way to the second round. And I think that's just something that's going to continue to motivate Brian Branch and the rest of this team, because you see that all around this roster. But Brian Branch, he's without a doubt the best player in the secondary, in the back 7. I think he's going to be going on, and he could very well be going into the Lions Ring of Honor, putting on that gold jacket. Like, he's that caliber of player. So Brian Branch, if you haven't invested stock into him now, get it, because it's going to be sky high at the end of the season.
What about Tim Patrick stock? Is that maybe throw
nice
a couple
penny stock?
Change.
Yeah.
Throw a little couple dollars on it. All right. Well, Ben spoke about Tim Patrick, Allen Robinson. So let's hear from him, because those guys were signed. One of them probably going to get called up. The other one, John alluded to that yesterday. He might just be here for intel, meaning Allen Robinson. I don't really know how true that is. I think about half and half. It's kind of smart. I didn't really think
I never even thought of that until the doc said that. But then when you hear Ben Johnson talk about it today, and these guys can play some football. They're not at the end of their careers.
Let's hear from Ben.
Personal level, but what have you seen from them in your early meetings, early practices, and what maybe one or both of them could contribute for you down the road?
Yeah, both those guys really impressive from off the field, in the meeting room, in the walkthrough that we just had. Extremely diligent, taking notes constantly. You can tell that they are professionals, which, when you get these young players in this league, they're learning how to do that. These guys already know. So I think that they'll be able to grasp this offense a lot quicker because of that. On the field, you can tell both those guys have a lot of ability, long, huge catch radius guys. I mean, Allen's got arms all the way down to the floor, it seems like. And then Tim is the tallest receiver I've been around, I think, in my time in the NFL. So both those guys certainly give that big body catch radius appeal for Jared. And we'll see how far we can push him, and really encouraged with what we've seen so far.
Watch out for Tim Patrick now. Hey,
don't sleep. Wake up. Wake up. It's Tim Patrick time.
Better wake up. I'm curious. I'm curious. I don't know the Allen Robinson fit. I don't really know. I don't know where he comes in. Maybe he's just kind of on the practice squad. There's an injury, you call him up. Maybe he just maybe someone else picks him up. I don't know. But Tim Patrick, even though he probably won't play Sunday, I see a question, Mike. Can they play Sunday? Yes. I don't know if they will. And again, John brought this up, and I do agree with him. For a guy like Tim Patrick to be brought in the same week, grasp the offense, and play a lot of snaps on Sunday, I just don't see it happening. Now, next week, I can see it happening. I can see him being a contributor next week. This week, I don't think so. But I am curious, because Tim Patrick, he is right. He does bring a different dimension to this offense. I mean, the dude is the biggest receiver they have. He can still be productive. The only thing I'm curious about is the injuries. That is it. And I don't think he's not going to get the workload. So maybe that does benefit him. Maybe that does go against my argument, which is fair. But I'm curious to see how this Tim Patrick thing plays out, because I do think I know the player's solid. I know what he brings to the table is what the Lions need. Could be a match made in heaven, boys, or it could just spiral and you just let him go. I don't know.
I think Tim Patrick is
going to be crystal ball. I don't.
That's what he does. That's what he was known for in Denver. He was one of the most reliable wide receivers in the NFL. Not one of the best, but one of the more reliable wide receivers in the NFL. I think Tim Patrick, you're going to see him in when they run 22 personnel, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. You're going to have him out there to block, and situationally on play action, you're going to ask him to catch a ball on 3rd down or maybe move the chains on 2nd down. I don't think he's going to be a guy that you're going to see out there by any means every play for the Detroit Lions offense. I think most of the looks, when you're talking about the 3 wide receivers, you're going to see Jamison Williams out wide, Amon-Ra out wide, and Khalif Raymond in the slot. Now, obviously, they're going to interchange those, especially if you want to go like tight packages, because then you could have everybody in close. It doesn't really matter where you're aligned. But with Tim Patrick, this is one of those things where I said it's no risk and all reward with this guy, because at the end of the day, as your wide receiver 5, that's a great position to be in, especially when you're looking at where the Lions were heading into just week one in general. Like a week ago when Tim Patrick signed here, that dramatically changed the optimism of this wide receiver room, because now you have a guy that can go up and get one, block, and he knows what the NFL is all about and has been in big games before. So I love this Tim Patrick signing. I don't think there's any worry to stress, because at the end of the day, if Tim Patrick doesn't work out, what happens with this offense? Does it go from top 5 to top 6? No. The offense is going to stay just the same. They're going to go find a guy, regardless if Tim Patrick or not works out, they're going to find a guy that can do the job. So Tim Patrick, I think, is going to be a very fine piece for this offense, especially in the red zone.
You don't listen. I'm going to let this, like, I was the one throughout the all off season who said we need another wide receiver. You need someone for DPJ. You got him. You don't need 1,000-yard wide receiver. When I'm going on my rants all this time saying, go out there and get me someone. Go get DPJ, isn't it? I'm not saying go get me, I don't know, Devontae Adams. I'm just saying go get someone who can step in like a DJ Chark style player who could come in and give you 300 or 400 yards and replace what you need there. Like, that's what Tim Patrick's going to do. And listen, I didn't think of this until today. Tim Patrick's a vet. He's been in this league a while. And DPJ, yes, has been in this league. Tim Patrick's been here. He's done it more. He's done it more than DPJ, in my opinion, at least. He's going to be able to figure out this playbook pretty quick. Ben Johnson had mentioned about them, and I can't remember which clip and part we played, but he mentioned, like, these guys in the meeting room, like, they are locked in. Like, you see guys come in and they're like, to me, maybe that's something that DPJ just could never figure out in the offense. Because we've seen DPJ put it out there on the field, athletic, like he's athletic, like he could play football. We know that. Tim Patrick, this guy comes in, him and Allen Robinson, locked in the film room, locked in with everything that they need with this. I think they're going to pick up this offense quick. I think Tim Patrick, like you said, Jeff, it might not be on Sunday. And if they do, maybe it's a decoy type situation. Tim Patrick will have an effect on this football team, though. He for sure will have an effect on this football team this season. Like, you are going to need him at points of your season to go on and win a Super Bowl, and Tim Patrick will be there because he is a very, very reliable vet. And in those injuries, I put those to the side. Put them to the side. They're going to make sure he stays healthy. The Lions have been pretty good with helping guys and making sure, hey, if there's a tweak somewhere, if there's something going on, hey, let's be careful with this. Let's figure this out. All right. We're good with Tim Patrick. You got that, Jeff?
I got it. I'm not trying to hate on the man.
Do you trust me?
I do trust you.
All right.
I don't know how much I trust you after the pizza bet, but I do trust you.
Here, that was a bet. That wasn't like a, hey, trust me. That was just a bet. This is like a friend to friend saying, I want you to trust in me.
Okay. That's fair. I'll trust you. I trust that. Another guy I do trust is Ben Johnson using on how to utilize Jahmyr Gibbs, which he did talk about. Let's hear from Ben Johnson on that.
When he came back in the springtime, you could tell that he'd been working on some of that route running stuff. And unfortunately, the availability hasn't been there consistently. So probably didn't get to explore that as far as we would have liked. But we certainly feel really good about where he was at in the springtime, what he's shown here in camp. And from the backfield, from the slot, from out wide, it's certainly more than we felt comfortable with a year ago.
You came back in part.
Did you say out wide?
Lined up in the backfield in the slot and out wide. I mean, especially we saw it where they were repping David Montgomery in the backfield and they were doing RPOs, throwing it to Jahmyr Gibbs. At least when I was there, I was like, that's something that is just going to be an extension of the run game where it's going to count as a completion, but in reality, it's just getting the ball to your running back behind the line of scrimmage and letting him make guys miss. Jahmyr Gibbs, it doesn't matter where you give that guy the ball at. He's a problem waiting to happen. I think, like I said, he's going to be the best offensive player on this team for the Detroit Lions. I think he's going to be a guy that's the top 5 running back in the NFL this year. And there's nothing stopping Jahmyr Gibbs outside of injury. Knock on wood that it doesn't happen. That's the only thing stopping him. I get that he's splitting a backfield, but that's a guy that is good enough to overcome that and just be like, okay, you're not taking me off the field because I am just simply too damn good. And I think that'll be the case. Monty will get his, but I think it'll be the Jahmyr Gibbs show for the Detroit Lions this season. I just do. He's the best player on this team offensively, outside of Penei Sewell.
Woo! I saw a post. Someone they more and more people are starting to I don't know if it was like NFL executives or people around the NFL. It was some post about how people are starting to believe that Jahmyr Gibbs is capable of 2,000 yards from scrimmage this year.
Yeah, I mean, at any year he is. He's
But this year specifically 2,000 yards from scrimmage.
I mean, I don't think he gets 2,000. He's going to get 1,600 to 1,700 though.
I mean, he's going to have a big year. Like that's inevitable. It's like he's one of the best athletes and best football players in the entire league now. Like it's obvious. The only thing is like I'll say is like you're stacked on this offense. It's the same thing when we try and say, oh, Jamo's going to have over 1,000 yards. Sam Laporte is going to have this big. There's going to be, and Ben Johnson's going to spread this ball around. And there is a point where it's like when you need a play to be made, Jahmyr Gibbs won't be one of those guys that can do it. I'm just interested to see how this thing gets spread around. That's all where I'm at with it. Because D-Mont's going to get touches. Sam Laporta is, Amon-Ra, Jamo, Gibbs. You guys are going to get touches. So I'm interested to see kind of the cap that they give him and the split and everything. Because we did see it in training camp. Like there are packages with D-Mont and Jamo or Jahmyr on the field at the same time. And it's going to be interesting to see what those are. Maybe it's a decoy to where, hey, it's a run play for D-Mont. I don't know. But I think it's obvious at this point that he's the best player on that offense when it comes to like the ceiling and athleticism and everything that he has and skill wise. It's just more so it's like this is the best offense in the entire NFL. How are they going to spread the ball around to all these guys? And I think Ben Johnson will be able to do it. If anyone in the NFL can do it, Andy Reid and Ben Johnson.
You got to feed Tim Patrick.
You got to keep all the dogs fed. You might not give them the steak, but you'll give them the bone. You'll give them the T-bone at the end of the meal. That's what you can have.
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, here's Ben on Jamo. Talked about his confidence with the young Lions wide receiver. Let's hear what he had to say.
About him all the time in training camp, but just going into the regular season, where's the confidence level in him?
As high as it's ever been, and continuing to climb. The more reps, the more time we get together on the field, the better I feel about him. He's grown in so many ways on and off the field as a player, as a route runner, as a receiver, and then off the field, just his preparation, how he's taking care of his body, his demeanor with his teammates and interactions with them. He's come a very long way. And so he's just going to continue to grow. And the more reps he gets, he's going to make mistakes and he's going to learn from them. And that's the best thing, most encouraging thing we've seen is since he's been out on the field, he rarely makes the same mistake twice.
Statistically, what it means.
Dog. Absolute dog. You know who be a Ben Johnson hyping up Jamo? Which, we talked about what we expect out of Jamo on Sunday yesterday, but Dave Phipp, he was hyping up Jake Bates. You see Dave Phipp? Dave Phipp said he's one of the best players he's ever been around. That's what he said.
Well, yeah, one of the best kickers that
Well, he's coached. Now he's a special teams coach, but yeah, that's what I meant.
Fair.
One of the best.
Jake Bates. Jake Bates up there, the best ever.
No. Best kicker he's ever been around. So yeah,
Jake Bates. I mean, just get the kid some confidence. Like what you need from your kicker, your kicker just needs reps. A guy who's never kicked field goals, and you're in the NFL. I'll give you a little credit here, Jeff. I'll give you a little credit. But when it comes to the NFL, like you have to get reps in, and like especially in these NFL environments with 60,000 people breathing down your neck, like you have to get reps in, and like he's going to miss kicks. Like that's inevitable. That's what I hated in the preseason when we're having these Jake Bates talks, and I'm like, dude, Jake Bates making kicks. Like he was 5 for 5, 6 for 6, 7, and everyone's just so held up. Well, what about that mixed extra point? That PAT? How about get over it? Like you're gonna miss. Every single kicker in the NFL misses extra points and misses kicks. Like it's going to happen. So like let the kid just build confidence. Like just keep building. By the time the playoffs come around, by the time the end of the second half of the season comes around, his confidence is going to be at an all-time high. Like that was what he said too. Like Jake Bates, the thing he loves about him the most is that he's just very self-aware. And he knows that he needs to get better, and he knows he needs to he knows the position he's in right now, and so he's working on it. Like that he's focused on it. That's what I love about the kid. He's going to be one of the best kickers in the. That's what I'll say too. He will be one of the best kickers in the NFL one day. Where in a year you're going to be looking down the line and be like, the Lions got one of the best kickers in the NFL.
Hey, keep an eye on him, Klotz. Keep an eye on him, Klotz.
I see it. My confidence has definitely been built through the preseason, but I still think it's ignorant to say that it's just 100% the guy. He's going to be the kicker. Like, no, you still got to wait and see it a little bit, just because there is some factors. Like, if you're just going to say, oh yeah, Jake Bakes, completely no doubt kicker of the future, that's fine.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it has to be proven still, in my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm just not sold on it. I need to see it in an NFL game. Once I see it, I'll be cool. But until then, I still am nervous a tad. Like I said, preseason definitely built the confidence, but I'm not 100% locked in. Like, I still think it does matter in a real game environment.
If he wasn't the kicker of the future, there would be a kicker on the practice squad right now.
Absolutely. But I'm saying like 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Like, I think people are instantly putting him in as like, he's the next Matt Prater. He's the next Jason Hansen. It's like, let's calm the fuck down.
No,
he can be a good kicker. We just said this guy's going to be one of the best kickers in the NFL. Like,
yeah, he will be.
Instantly. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, he can be a good kicker, but people are just instantly like, oh, Detroit Lions, new player, best in the NFL. Like, no, like, let's calm the fuck down.
All right, wait. It's not that. It's the fact that he's got a leg that he can make kicks from 60 yards plus. If he gets consistent, it's not, best player NFL, better than the Lions. It's not that at all. That's not what anyone's saying. It's that he's got a leg that can kick the ball from 65 yards out, and he's done it. It's not that it's like he just misses. He can do it. As soon as he gets consistent, he will be one of the best in the NFL, because there's a small percentage of kickers in the NFL that are kicking 60-plus yard field goals. So, like, it's not saying that he can be the best kicker in the NFL isn't just a slappy take at all. That's more so saying, like, let's look at the player here. What can he do? What is his skill level? He's got one of the best legs in the entire NFL right now. It's just more so about getting consistent. That it's not any slappiness.
He's got a cannon. I just need to see it.
He does.
I just need to see it.
Saying there's
okay. Week 1, whatever happens, let's just not hit the panic button yet. Can we do that, Klotz?
Yeah, I like if week 1 he goes out there and goes 1 for 3. Like, I'm not going to be, he's done, he's fucking cooked. If he goes 3 for 3, I'm not going to be like, he's the fucking guy. Like, there's got to be games built together. Like, after a month, I think that's when it's a proper evaluation.
Fair. That's fair. Well, the game is we're live here. I just checked in. Ravens are driving down the field. I think they're on the 25-yard line. I got a parlay in actually right now. I'm kind of checking out.
I'm so mad my bank account's hacked. So unfortunate. Can't be betting right now. It's fucking
damn
depressing.
Idaho, Iowa. Who did it?
Idaho.
Screw them all.
They got Justice Hill out there.
Yeah, Derrick Henry had 1 carry for 2 yards. Yeah, this will be interesting. It doesn't look as bad as it advertised. Like, it looked like the rain. You know how it looked like thunder? It's not. It kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Looks all right.
It's back, though, boys. NFL is back.
I know. This is just amazing. Lamar Jackson's out there. In a little bit here, we're going to go through game by game and pick give our schedule predictions. All right, because we've done this. We did it a while ago, but I think it's important we do it now. Get our official record locked in, so that way when people rewatch this, because they're probably watching the game, they can see our records. But what happened in the game? Why are you making
Chris
that?
Jones just fucking ate Derrick Henry, bro. Like, just completely sandwiched him. I was in awe. Chris Jones is such a fucking beast, bro. The best defensive tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, that's why people draft guys like Broderick. You just hope they turn into a monster. You just like that dude. What's Chris Jones, like 6'6", like 300 pounds?
Yeah, 6'6", and just fucking stupid. Just fucking stupid. Good at football. It's insane.
Oh my god! All right, let's go through the schedule. I got it right here. We'll start it off. We got it on ESPN. We're gonna go around the room. This isn't like a group exercise. You give me what you think, and we're going to give our total at the end. Keep your own count, and then at the end we'll give what our record is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for week 1, Los Angeles Rams. I'll just get this one out the way. You guys think it's a win?
W.
Yeah, I think the Rams for sure is a win right away.
Okay. I'm going to go loss. I think they lose a close one to the Rams. So
The
that's-
gall. The
that's what-
gall.
It's just it's how it is. Now, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Seattle, Dallas. We'll start with Tampa. I think they get through. They lose week 1 in a tough fought game, and they DJ Reader comes back, and they open up a can of whoop ass on Tampa.
Right,
So
Jeff, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Does the Rams situation here, just real quick, because there was the injury that was posted today with Darius Williams. Does that like change anything for you? Their number 1 corner is now out for the game. He's on the IR. Does that switch things up for you? The line moved.
We're trying
like,
to get Yen out here.
As soon as it got like it came out that he was put on IR, the line moved instantly to 4.5. Being genuine here. This is a genuine question. This isn't me trying to.
Yeah,
I'm genuinely asking.
They're missing half of their offensive line in Ford Field on prime time against a reloaded defense, against the best rushing team in the NFL, so they can keep that passing attack off the field.
This isn't like
everything aligns here for Detroit.
Yeah, you got to think this isn't like saying the Rams are bad. It's just like the Lions are getting the Rams in a really good spot. Essentially, like the offensive line's dwindled. Their number 1 CB is out now officially against. You have Amon-Ra Jamo. Like they're
who's
like,
covering Sam Laporta? Cam Kitchens?
You can't tell me.
I mean, come on.
We need something here. We need something here.
He's fighting demons. He wants to give McVay the win so bad.
No. I spoke to some higher ups. I spoke to my people. I'm gonna go ahead and change it.
Whoa!
I think you guys make some great points. I think the offensive line, maybe you could be like, well, they got a backup left tackle. That's not that bad. Once you start dropping corners, yeah.
That's tough, especially against this offense with Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's going to go at that.
You know what?
He's going to go at those corners. He knows it.
You know what? Yeah. With all the injuries, I'm gonna last minute change here. I'm gonna go win.
It's a smart move. It's a smart move, Iafrate.
Mm-hmm.
Great business
decision. Shot clock. I'll give it to you guys. I think they win. Watch them lose now. I'll be like, fuck. No, I'm just kidding. No.
I told you.
Yeah, no, I won't
Just
do that.
the bad juju.
No. I think they win. So week 2, we'll move on. We'll all have them winning. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, not much to add there. So they'll start 2-0.
No. Baker had a fine season last year, but he's not going to be a guy that goes in Detroit wins a football game with this offense and defense. I think Tampa Bay's going to have a fine season, but they're losing week 2.
Yeah, I got the Lions week 2 over Tampa Bay. Back-to-back playoff rematches. Lions take them both. Ford Field, they're not losing this year.
Arizona on the road. I think that one's sneaky.
It's sneaky. It's a W, though. It's a W.
Yeah, I'm going to say W.
Jonathan Gannon ain't phasing me. He ain't
No,
phasing me.
he's not. He's not.
I think this game, like the Cardinals could be like, we can be looking at like the Cardinals are up 21-7 at halftime, something like that. Maybe not that dramatic, but the Cardinals have a halftime lead. The Lions wake up in the second half and they get going and they sneak out of there with the W. Like this game's not just going to be a easy W by any means.
Smells like a trap game, but I think they pull it off. So I think they win week 3 as well.
Yeah, it's a win. Cardinals is a win. Easy dub. I think on the road, it's a dome game for Jared Goff. I don't see this Cardinals team. I said the Cardinals team could sneakily be good, decent this year. I don't see them winning this though. Lions win. Lions start off 3-0.
So we all have 3-0, and then they face Klotzy Seahawks, which my
Seahawks now apparently.
I'm kidding. Yeah, joking. I think they win for obvious reasons. I don't see how Mike McDonald phases anyone. Great guy, knows defense. I just don't think year 1 they're a threat. I think he very well could be close. Gino's comfortable playing at Ford Field, but it's hard to beat a team. It'll be 3 times now. I mean, I know. I think they get their Lions get the revenge. They win.
I'm with you. I think this is out of the first 5 games the most losable game for the Lions.
Oh,
Mike McDonald, Geno Smith, they ain't getting the job done. Like I'm with Booner. It's really hard for me seeing the Lions lose at Ford Field this year.
Yeah, me too. I don't think at Ford Field, honestly. I don't want to give too much away, but I don't see it. And honestly, I'll just go to the next game as well. We had the argument last week, and the Lions go 5-1 to start the season. I've flipped. Lions will be 5-0 to start the season. I think going into a bye, you beat Seattle. You're sitting there at 4-0. You might have some nicks and bruises going into the bye because the first couple of weeks, guys are first football in a while, so you're gonna have a couple guys that might be a little injured. Get a break, go to Dallas, and it's more so of a revenge game from last year that you're gonna see kind of a big time revenge situation going on there in Dallas. Dan Campbell, you guys remember Dan Campbell, what he said last year after the Dallas game, going in and be like, "Oh, we're gonna be back here. Trust me, we're gonna be back." Like that. This is Dan Campbell being like a whole week of prep with Dan Campbell in a bye week going into Dallas and Mike McCarthy. That's a bad situation for them. They don't want to be in there. The Dallas Cowboys do not want to play that football game.
Yeah, I think they start 5-0.
I got a lot of flack for that, Iafrate. A lot of flack because then they got to be losing games late in the season.
No, no. The only reason you got flack is because of what happened week 1 and why we argued about why you believed in your Seahawks. Not your Seahawks.
My Seahawks. Let's relax with that. But and a banged up Los Angeles Rams week 1 in Ford Field facing the Detroit Lions against a team that has won in there in a very similar situation.
That's where we are. Because
they've done it before.
I was 4-1. You were 5-0. I said it's not much of a difference. I mean, who cares? It's one win. I just thought they'd lose to the Rams, but now with all these injuries, it's hard to make that argument. So, yeah, it's hard.
Floyd is the one that did it.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of important. He's probably their best corner, to be honest. So that's tough. But yeah, I'm gonna go win. I think they start 5-0. I think we all agree here, 5-0.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it pushing.
Moving on.
So their next group of games here, we'll get to. Let me see. We'll get this out the way. All right, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
I don't think so.
I mean, this is an easy win. I don't think they lose. They're not going to lose to the Vikings this year. I don't care they have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I don't care who they have. Aaron Jones. Do not care. Aiden Hutchinson will sack Sam Darnold a total of 4 times this season, 2 in each game. Like, Sam Darnold's not going to know what to do versus Aiden Hutchinson. Sam Darnold might not even be the quarterback come week 7 for the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to win that football game. The Lions are beating the Vikings twice this year. Vikings are going to be, I don't know, a 7 or 6 win football team, a 5-win football team. They're not going to Justin Jefferson's going to be wondering why he re-signed that contract by week 10.
JJ McCarthy. No, I mean, I think this is going to be a close game. In Minnesota, I think will be a close game. You look at what Nick Mullins did, and I understand the defense was much worse, but I think Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Nick Mullins. I think Jordan Addison in his second year, that's definitely going to be a little bit of an upgrade. Bringing in Aaron Jones, who's familiar with this defense. I think there's a lot of pieces for the Lions or for the Vikings, but for them to beat the Lions, Sam Darnold's going to have to look like Aaron Rodgers, and I just don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be a shootout type of game, but the Lions, they'll squeak out of there. It'll be close, though.
I agree. They beat the Vikings. I see them sweeping the Vikings. Even though I think Darnold, I even see this like Andrew Jones. Darnold's better than Mullins. I mean, yeah, I don't think Darnold's awful, but I just think the Lions are they're just a better team, and they're at a disadvantage at quarterback. I could see Sam Darnold completely caving. I mean, just absolutely melting down and caving. So I'm going to go win there. I think they beat Tennessee as well at home. I think that could get ugly, to be honest. I mean, that could get very ugly.
Yeah, I mean, this is where I'm at with it. I said it last week when we did the first 5 games thing. If the Lions don't lose in the first 5 games, I see them starting 7-0. That's exactly what's going to happen. Is this Lions team? I can't find a loss. Though I said in the first 7 games, the only close loss or close game that I think is going to actually be competition is going to end up being that Dallas game just because it's the Dallas Cowboys and in Jerry's world. And Jerry Jones is going to find a way to help the refs stay in this football game. That's it. That is it. That's all. So I think the Lions start 7-0. I think the season starts in week 9.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they're 7-0 right now. I think they dropped their first game against the Packers on the road.
I agree. I'm with you.
So 7-1. They lose to Green Bay, 4:00 game. That's where I'm at with it.
I'm with you. They're going to split, and it's not going to be at Ford Field this year. I just don't see them losing to the Packers, but I don't think the Packers, I mean, that's a team that historically has just dominated the Lions in Lambeau, and I think they have a team that can definitely go out there and beat the Lions on any given Sunday. And I think on that Sunday, unfortunately, the Packers are going to be winning that game. Boone?
This may shock some people. I have the Detroit Lions losing back-to-back games in week 9 and week 10. Back-to-back after starting 7-0. I would love for them to win both of those games. I would love for them to win both of those games. That's going to be a week 8. You had an early bye week. You're going to drop a game in Green Bay, a tough-fought game, and you're turning around on in prime time. And guess what? Dan Campbell in prime time is unbelievable. This man doesn't lose in prime time. But I just think going on the road to Houston, you're going to drop some games this year. You're going to go through a bad stretch. I think the stretch of football that we've seen in years past, you're not going to have those 4 or 5 game stretches, but you're still just like the Niners had last year. The Chiefs have had at points throughout their runs. You're going to have a 2 or 3 week stretch where you're going to struggle a little bit. I think it comes in this little stretch here. Green Bay, Houston, Jacksonville. I think they lose week 9 and week 10 at Green Bay, at Houston, and you're sitting there at 7-2. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they're both hard fought games. Maybe lose one of them in overtime, but you're sitting there and you're in an absolute battle for 2 weeks. So I'm going to go 2 losses there. I'm sitting there at 7-2 right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think just both traveling to those situations, I think they're going to be on such a momentum swing. Starting out the season 7-0, when you go into Green Bay, you're going to get smacked in the mouth a little bit, and then Houston. I just think that's a lot to handle in that short amount of time. Pause. But I don't think you look back on those games, you're like, oh, the Lions are fraud. Like, no, those are 2 legitimate NFL football teams. So I think elite NFL football teams.
Yeah, I have them losing back-to-back. So there's, what do we have, Matt? 7-2 at this point, and then you face the Jags.
Easy W. This will be a walk in the park, easy W. Trevor Lawrence can look fine, but still going to be a 30-point game.
This is
Xavier Worthy. Touchdown.
That's
crazy.
This is one of those situations there when you have, like I said, the back-to-back losses, and then you have the Jags win. I think it's a little bit of a bounce back at Ford Field, but I'm going to go win. I'm going to go win to go to 8-2. I do think this is it feels like a little bit of a bounce back game. Jacksonville. The last time Jacksonville came in, and I'm higher on Jacksonville now, Jeff. I'm slowly starting to come around on Jacksonville. I just think it's going to be a tough game, but I think they're going to find a way. Like, hey, 2 losses. Like, we have to find a way to get our feet back on the ground.
Yep, I agree. I think they beat Jacksonville. They bounce back. That puts them at 8-2. And then you go on the road and face the Colts.
Week 12. It's going to be a painful week. I don't think a lot of Lions fans are going to be expecting it, but I have this as an L. I just think that's going to be an environment. You're on the road. You just lost 2 games. You bounce back against the Jags, and you got some confidence. But I think if there's going to be a trap game, it's going to be week 12 in Indy. So I've been pretty constant on that, so I'm not going to switch up now.
Seems a little disrespectful there, Lukas Klotz.
Maybe.
Have something to say about that?
No, I just did. I said I think they're going to lose the Colts.
I have them losing to the Colts as well. That's it. I think in stretches of football that you've seen in the past, the Lions struggle a little bit. And this is, I think we early on when the schedule got released, this was the stretch of football where I had them losing 3 out of 4. And I was like, this is a tough 3 game. Like, you're on the road. If you look at that, at Minnesota, you come back home 1 game, 2 games on the road, come back home, another game on the road. Like, 4 of your 6 weeks, you're on the road traveling to Minnesota, Green Bay, Houston, Indy. Like, obviously it's not a ton of long travel, but you're just on the road consistently. And I think we've seen, like, in years past, like, There's going to be that 3-4 game stretch of football. This is it. They lose 3 out of 4 games of that stretch there. Jacksonville, because again, they're not losing at home. I can't see them dropping a game in Ford Field. They will win the Jacksonville game and then go on the road, drop one more to the Colts, and then this is where Dan Campbell reels things in after this Indy game. This is where he reels things in and tells the fellas, hey, fellas, it's time to play some football. We're getting to that time of year. It's time to play some football, boys.
No way, no how. They're losing to the fucking Colts on the road. I don't give a damn. They're beating the Colts. Hey, Anthony Richardson, I will. You know what he's going to do? He's going to throw 2 to the Lions secondary. That's what he's going to do, and the Lions are going to win. They're going to beat the Colts. All right, we probably have, now that I see you guys have this as a loss, we probably have another game that's different, but yeah, I don't have this one as a loss. So I think they beat the Colts. Love Shane Steichen, but there's no way in hell that Anthony Richardson, even though a mobile quarterback, I get it, but I think the secondary, couple takeaways, Jonathan Taylor gets like 50 yards, 60 yards. They struggle. There it is.
Do you have a loss too?
No, win.
Oh,
I got to win here.
Okay, I like that, Juicy J.
So they get a win.
How
Then
about
they
that?
at home, Thanksgiving against the Bears. No way, no how they lose this. No way. There's no fucking way.
They're not losing on Thanksgiving ever again. It will not happen. I'm so tired of the Detroit Lions losing on Thanksgiving, especially last year when you have a good football team and you have Jordan Love coming into your home. It's unbelievable. I remember doing the game, and you know what? Shout out to Darren McCarty. Shout out D-Mac. D-Mac enjoying Thanksgiving with me and watching the Packers game. It was just so disappointing. D-Mac brings pies. We eat some good pie, some pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. We're sitting there eating pie, lots of whipped cream, and then we have to sit there through a Green Bay Packers loss. And we're just sitting there. It's the most disappointing thing. It's so disappointing. And I love D-Mac, and I love pie. And I love the Lions. It should have been a great day. It's going to be a great day this year, Lions fans.
Yeah.
We're going to be live somewhere on Thanksgiving. And you know what? I'm going to cook a turkey for the people. And whoever shows up to where we're at, you get a piece of the turkey. I'll cook a pie. You'll have a piece of pie. We'll be live. We'll be there. A nice family environment. And they're going to beat down Caleb Williams and the fraud Chicago Bears.
I fuck with it, Boone. I don't think they lose. I don't think they lose on Thanksgiving. No way. So they're winning that football game. Well, they still have to go to Chicago, which I'll get to in a second. But at home, they beat the Bears.
Yeah, Caleb Williams isn't going to be built for it yet. I think that's going to be a game where the Lions are coming off a tough stretch and they're going to get a get-right game on Thanksgiving against a rookie quarterback. I think Aaron Glenn's going to make Caleb Williams uncomfortable the whole time. I understand they have weapons, but again, in Ford Field on Thanksgiving, I just don't think this team with Matt Eberflus is built like that. I just don't.
It's fair. Green Bay at home. I assume we all have this as a win because we have them splitting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. 11-2. 11-2. I have them at. You guys have them at what?
I have them at 11-3, and I have them beating the Green Bay Packers to actually be 10-3. I don't know. Yeah, 10-3. I have them at
10-3. I have them 11-2. Yep.
Yeah, I guess I just gave away my next week, the Buffalo Bills. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Booner, Detroit Lions versus the Buffalo Bills. I'll tell you what, Josh Allen's going to get sacked a million times. He's going to throw 2 interceptions. He's going to look like he's never played football before versus Aaron Glenn's defense in the Detroit Lions in Week 15. At Ford Field, it's going to be the toughest. Josh Allen's played in a lot of tough spots. It will be the toughest environment that he has ever seen in his career of football of his lifetime. He will not know what to do. He's going to struggle. It's going to be bad for Josh Allen. Give me the Detroit Lions to beat the Buffalo Bills after that ridiculous 2 years ago or 3 years ago Buffalo Bills Thanksgiving game that they should have won that Jeff was at and ruined.
That shit was painful. I mean, I think this is a game where the Buffalo Bills are going to miss, and I mean miss, Matt Milano, because he's a guy that could actually keep stride for stride with Sam Laporta, in my opinion. The fact that he's gone, the way that the Bills are going to be winning games, in my opinion, is Josh Allen's going to have a good season regardless, but it's going to be if they can run the ball. If they can run the ball with James Cook and Josh Allen on teams, that'll set up the play action to Dalton Kincaid, the deep shots to Keon Coleman. And I just do not see them being able to establish a run on this defense. This is going to be, I think, it's not going to be a blowout, but I think it's a game where the Lions win by 2 scores, whether it be 14 points or 10 points. I think the Lions handle Buffalo at home. I do.
This one's tough.
Jeff's trying to find one. He's trying to find a loss coming up. He is. He's digging.
He's looking because he knows where he had their record, and he's sitting there with 2 losses, and he's like, I'm supposed to get to 4. And
No.
Five.
This is all part of the plan. All right. Fasten your seatbelt.
It's about to be a struggle bus going into the playoffs here for the Lions.
No, and I'll tell you why they lose here against Josh Allen. I think they lose because, and when you look at least for me, quarterback play, Lions struggle with mobile quarterbacks, and Josh Allen, I think, is one of those guys where if you're not that the Lions just sleepwalk into games or anything like that, but Josh Allen could have that type of game where he just absolutely snaps and he gets like 70 rushing yards. He throws for 250 passing yards and 2 TD, whatever. Like, I don't think the Bills are very good, but there's going to be games where you just feel like, oh, we're going to walk all over the Bills. And Josh Allen just has an absolute night or a day, whatever time they play. So I think they lose this one at home. I have them with 1 loss at home because I don't think every single loss is on the road. That's not realistic. I don't think the Lions are bad on the road. They've shown they can win on the road. And I think
call those fans out, huh, Jeff?
No, I'm just being realistic. There's no way that every loss is. I'd be concerned because then, like, you're going to go on the road and trust this team. Like, I think they're good on the road. So I have 1 loss. This 1 loss here to the Bills, and that puts them for me at 11-3, I believe.
Yeah, I have them 11-3 as well. So we're all in the same.
Yep.
Yep. So we're all aligned.
So it's just one of those games. You call it a trap game. At least for me, I can call it that because I don't think the Bills will be that good. But I think the Bills sneak up on them, get a win late. All right. The next game, Chicago on the road to Chicago.
This is one of them. This is one of those games. Me too.
Yeah, I think we all do.
I think it's just one of those divisional games on the road to where, and this is where I'm gonna fit the narrative that people talk about. Jared Goff in December at Soldier Field, and I don't think it's like a bad thing to say about Jared Goff. Like, I still think he's gonna have a chance to win MVP. I just think if you're looking at the outdoor games, this is the only one that really matters. Like San Fran, really, like outdoor, it's a beautiful area. Like, there's going to be no issues when it comes to cold or snow or anything. But this is December 22nd, a couple days before Christmas. You're going to be sitting there. There's potential snow. It's going to be cold. The wind. You're playing at Soldier Field, where on Lake Michigan, where the wind is the worst probably in the entire NFL. That's why, the Bears have never had a quarterback that's thrown for 4,000 yards, is because you play at Soldier Field in the winter. It's just impossible to throw the ball. So that's where I think you get to a point. Now, I think there's a chance they stay in this game because of the run game, but I just see this being one of those games where you look back and you go, this was an absolute battle. It's like a 21-20 game, 21-17 game, and you're just like, we just battled that one out.
Yeah, since entering Detroit, Jared Goff, a very good quarterback, but in Chicago is no doubt where he struggles the most. He's 1-2 since he's entered the league there, at least with the Lions he has been. And I just think when you look at what the Bears have done, they've upgraded. Obviously not as much as the Lions, in my opinion, as far as getting the team to a higher status. But the Bears have upgraded. I think with the home field advantage, I think they're not going to have a problem running the ball in this game, just because maybe they're not going to be running all over the Lions, but they're going to be able to find the run game, get their identity. That's what Chicago does to the Lions in Chicago. So you look at Justin Fields, he was able to beat the team at home. I think Caleb Williams could do the same, especially with all those weapons. But in Detroit's a different story.
Yeah, I have them losing here. That puts them at 12-4, which I'm going to be honest here, guys. The next game on the road to San Francisco, I think that's where the Lions wake up and they get hot going into the playoffs. They take down the 49ers on the road. So that's how I see this playing out. I think they beat the 49ers. That puts them at 12-4. They're 11-4 right now, 12-4.
Yeah.
Now.
I have them 11-4 after the Chicago game. You have them beating the 49ers?
Yep.
Yeah, me too. I'll go down the road. You know what, too? Big thing about this game, and I think you guys would agree with me on this. This is that narrative game. Like, this is where all of the narratives start to come complete. Like, you're going into this game. It's Monday Night Football. This will be the biggest game of the year. You see it on the right, ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus, 8:15 p.m. Monday night. This is the game to where you're going to be sitting at 11-4. The San Francisco 49ers will be sitting at 11-4, around the same record, or maybe 12-3. And it's, hey, whoever wins this game gets the 1 seed. Like, they're going to win the tiebreaker, and that's what it's going to come down to. And I think all of the narratives start to come together. Jared Goff MVP, Aiden Hutchinson Defensive Player of the Year. You know, you start seeing everything start to come together. Are the Lions Super Bowl contenders? And they go into San Francisco. They were up 17 last year, guys. Like, San Francisco had no answer until the second half. Like, the first half, they were, what is going on? I think Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, another year, Aaron Glenn with an actual defense. I think you're going to see them absolutely dominate in this game. And these guys are going to have something to prove. Guys like Brian Branch, Amon-Ra, Jack Campbell, Anzo, like all of these guys, you guys got to think. Remember all these interviews all off season of guys just being like, all I thought about and that replayed in my head was that San Francisco game. That's all that's going to be replaying in their head that week of preparing for San Francisco. They're going to go in there and dominate. I would be shocked, dude, if they win this game by 10 points on the road. Like, go in there and dominate the 49ers. Like, I would not be shocked at all. I know it's far out and we don't know how the teams are going to be, but that's just, in my mind, that's the game. And Goff goes in there, throws for a bunch, and just absolutely dominates the 49ers. 12-4.
This game has game of the year potential. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a game that the Lions do control for most of it, but the 49ers, they're not just going to be able to give up at home. We saw it last year in the playoffs. They're going to keep it close. But how about this, Boone? How about this, Jeff? For the Jake Bates talk we were talking about earlier, I think Jake Bates in San Francisco can be walking it off, and I think that locks up the number 1 seed. And then you go home against Minnesota. That's where it's going to be interesting to see if they play starters or rest them. So for the record wise, that's probably where I'd be giving out my last loss is against Minnesota. Because I think you beat San Francisco, you lock up that 1 seed.
I will say this. I think there's going to be a situation to where even if you win for San Fran, I think you're both going to be sitting at like 12 wins or 11, or like it would be like 12 wins. And I think you're going to be sitting there to where it's like you still need to make sure you win the last week to clinch it. Like and you have to go out there and win, or a 49ers loss. So like you can't afford to lose, because like what happens if, and then just in my mind, if you're both sitting at 12 and you have the tiebreaker, but then the 49ers get 13 and you're at 12 and you're like, tough, man.
Yeah.
So I think they're going
13-4.
Yep. Hey, welcome aboard, brother. Welcome aboard. We didn't do record predictions since, when did they come out? March or April? Or May, or it was like May, whenever the schedule came out. I remember you guys were at like 11 or 12. I was sitting there at 13 all alone. Now, hey, fist bumps all around. We're here, baby. 13.
There you go. Well, I think it's time we'll bring in Mike here, and we can do our around the NFL seeding. Or our seeding, we're doing the AFC, NFC playoff teams. So let's get to it. Let's bring on Michael Gentry, and we'll get his thoughts. What's going on, Mike?
Gentlemen,
here we go.
Football's officially back. I was liking your schedule breakdown. I mean, it was pretty much the same what I was going to have. 4 losses, kind of the max. But how's everyone doing?
Hey, you said, Gentry, football is back, baby.
Football is
back.
back.
I'm kind of tuning in a little bit, trying to check in. What's going on?
Did you guys see the Xavier Worthy end around?
I did. You know what I did? I had Xavier Worthy touchdown, anytime touchdown today. So I cashed that out.
Let's go.
What was his odds on that?
I think it was like plus 250 or something. Yeah, it was good. I had him. There was a boost that had Derrick Henry or Travis Kelce plus 100, either one to score. So I had put straight bet on that. I put a straight bet on I think just Xavier Worthy is the other one. Yeah, Xavier Worthy. So hit that. And I got Derrick Henry, so I hit both of the touchdown props.
Derrick Henry, dog.
Yep.
NFL's back, baby. I love it. Gambling NFL, dude. It's just, there's something about it to where the mind sees it a lot more clear, like way more clear. Like the Lions, dude. I'll be up plus 1 million units on the Lions this year. Because my mind is so clear. We talk about it so much where it's like you have to but hey, Tyler Chevet said it in the chat. Booner bets is back. We win football
Hey.
games. We win bets. Booner bets the best in the state of Michigan.
It's facts.
Wow.
Hey, yeah, boys.
You get that? Let that man cook.
that was really really encouraging.
Well, hey, you know what? I'm
Wow.
gonna need a boon. I'm gonna need some of the Booner bets here because you know me with my betting history. I'm not the guy you go to. You either go to Booner or you go to Gentry. So hopefully you can help me out this season. All right, hey fellas, let's go through our seeds here. Our NFC and AFC teams who we have in the playoffs. Boone, would you like to go first?
Can I go last? Can I?
I'll go first. I'll go first.
When we go, make sure, guys. Are we doing playoff prediction? Or like who we think is going to go to the conference championship, win that, and Super Bowl? Because I have my little notepad here. I did a mini bracket, and I'll do mine. I'll go last. And I'll do
bracket,
mine.
Boone. Show us it.
Well, I can't because it gives it away, but I have here. I'll just mini bracket. Ooh, mini
bracket.
Oh, all right. Well, here's Gentry's. Gentry, what do you got for us?
All right. Obviously, in the AFC, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. As you see right now, their offense is probably going to be hitting on cylinders all year long. Patrick Mahomes finally got some weapons, and a few of those guys aren't even playing today. The defense, Chris Jones, they all looked up to par already at week 1. New York Jets, you guys know how high I am on them. I think they are going to win this division. Sorry, Boone, the Bills aren't winning it. I think Aaron Rodgers, he stays healthy. This team has one of the best defenses in the league, and we've seen what they did last year without a quarterback for, the whole entire year. So you add an elite quarterback like Aaron Rodgers into that scenario, I think they're going to be the 2 seed in the AFC. Right behind them, I had the Cincinnati Bengals. This was probably the toughest one, obviously, out of all these. I think the Ravens will be neck and neck with them all year. I think, obviously, Lamar Jackson coming off the MVP caliber year. Thing that worries me is just how their defense is going to hold up. Obviously, they lost a couple pieces on the defensive line. Secondary's mad, but right behind the Bengals, I have the Houston Texans. This one isn't really much of a gamble. I think Houston's going to win this division outright. I think CJ Stroud, obviously, they upgraded pieces on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And number 6, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars, followed by the Miami Dolphins. Boone, no Bills. No Bills.
Hey, it's disrespectful. That's a little disrespectful.
It's the right
All
take.
right. Then moving on to the NFC, I do have the Lions as the number 1 seed. Following them, I still think the 49ers are going to win this division. I am very high on the Rams. I just don't know if the Rams, even with the easier schedule that they do have, I don't know if it will still be enough to win the division. And then Philly, I've been so high on them. I said they are going to have a bounce back season. They are going to be facing the Lions in the NFC Championship game. I'm still standing by that, but they're going to come in at number 3 here. And then the Falcons, even though I think the Buccaneers will be pretty good, I think this is still the Falcons division to lose. You move Kirk Cousins from an offense in Minnesota where he had a ton of weapons, and then you just move him to Atlanta where he has a ton of weapons in a run game. And then even then they added some defensive pieces as well. Obviously the defensive line's probably the biggest question mark with that team, but I still think they win that division. And then number 5, obviously the Packers aren't winning the NFC North. That is the Lions division. So the Packers are coming in at 5 for me, followed by the Rams. Like I said, I think they'll be pretty close to winning their division, but San Francisco is still going to edge them out. And then Seattle. I think Seattle has a bounce back year. Obviously, new head coach kind of changed some things around. I think if they stay healthy on the defensive side of the ball, they have the pieces on offense. And I think JSN is going to have more of that breakout year and kind of take Tyler Lockett's spot in that offense as the year goes on. I think a healthy K9. I think that offense will be ready to go.
I had the Seattle Seahawks last in their division, so that's a shocking one. I also had the Dolphins just 3rd in the division, just never seeing the light of day.
Whoa.
So we've got some narratives that are being written here right now, and I love them. I love them,
But,
Gentry. Hey, I'm all for a good narrative. I'm all for a good narrative, brother.
Who do you have in the Super Bowl, Ginger?
Conference championships and matchups in Super Bowl.
Well, I have the Chiefs versus the Bengals, and then the Lions versus the Eagles. Lions versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Lions are getting the W, Boone. The Lions are getting the W, Boone. Come on.
You know what? That's good
Love
stuff.
it.
All right. Let's I'll go next. Let's see what I got here. Because this was made before I found out some much needed news, but I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
What's the news?
What news?
Well,
What news?
you look over at the NFC West. I have the Rams winning it. But you know what? Hey, we're gonna stick with it. We're standing on business. We'll start with the NFC. I have the Detroit Lions with the number 1 seed. By the way, disregard Philly. There's an extra I in there. Shouldn't be there. So just disregard that. But anyway, it's Philly. It should be Philly. Never mind. Detroit Lions number 1 seed in the NFC. We all kind of agree there. I think the Philadelphia Eagles actually come in second, win their division, and the Rams win the NFC West. So that's how I have it. The Falcons are going to win their division. I believe it, even though I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still making the playoffs. But San Francisco comes in at the 5th seed. You know, they got a double-digit wins. Maybe they win, 10 games. They get in the playoffs, but they ain't winning their division. And then the Green Bay Packers also get in. So I have 2 teams from 3 different divisions, to be honest with you. So that's how I have it. And then Tampa coming in at the final seed. Now in the AFC, Chiefs have the number 1 seed. That's what I believe. We all are kind of in lock with that. The Bengals win their division over the Ravens. And then the Jets win their division as well. I have the Texans winning their division, and that puts Baltimore in the playoffs, but again, not with the bye. So they'll come in at the 5th seed, and then I have the Jacksonville Jaguars making the playoffs as well. No, not the Colts. The Jaguars, the Jags, Duval in the postseason. And then I have the Miami Dolphins coming in as well. So not the Bills. No one's jumping on tables. No one's breaking tables. The Dolphins
all have to be wrong.
are in the postseason, and they'll probably lose when they go anywhere below 70. But that's where I have it. That's how my playoffs line up. I have in the NFC, I have the Lions, and I have the Eagles. I'm with you, Gentry.
Welcome aboard.
In the AFC, I have the Bengals, and I have the Chiefs. Chiefs win, Lions win, Lions win the Super Bowl. Lions, Chiefs.
Wow.
That's how I have it happening.
Matchups.
Yeah,
Love it.
Same Final Four.
Yeah, that's Gentry and lockstep happens a lot. All right, let's put.
Am I up or Klotz is here? Klotz, you're alive. You hear us?
Just waiting to be added on. Don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, you're good, Klotz. Hey, Klotz.
Klotz, you up? You want to go?
Oh yeah, however we want to do it.
All right, let's see yours. I'm curious, Klotz. You got to fight an uphill battle with this list.
I'll fight an uphill battle, but it's one I'm willing to stand on. I think, starting with the AFC, the Chiefs are undoubtedly going to be the best team in the NFL this year, in my opinion. And we're starting to see it right now. I think they're going to start to run away from Baltimore here pretty soon. But I think after that, the Jets, we looked at their schedule. It's a fucking cakewalk. Aaron Rodgers is healthy for the majority of the season. They're no doubt going to be the number 2 seed, in my opinion. I really want to have Cincinnati winning the North. But the more you just think about it, my brain is telling me, all right, Baltimore is going to win this division. They're going to be able to run on pretty much any team that they want. I think that they just find a way to squeak by and win the North. And then we went at it so many times about the Colts and my take on that. I think the Colts win the AFC South. Call me crazy if you like, but I just really like what's going on in Indy. I think they're a team that knows their identity right away and is going to pick up right where they left off last year. Houston's going to be fighting with them, though. It's going to be going down to the end of the road, and I think Houston's going to be the 5 seed. Cincy with the 6, and the AFC North gets 3 teams. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers and Buffalo Bills are going to be fighting out for that 7 spot, but Mike Tomlin just does not miss the playoffs. And I know that the quarterback play is going to be bad, but it's still going to be better than Kenny Pickett. So I like the chances for the Steelers getting in the playoffs. NFC side, Detroit Lions, we've been saying the number 1 seed for a while. I think the thing that I was fighting between the Eagles and the 49ers is just the division that they're in. I think the NFC East is much worse than the NFC West. So I think Philly's going to dominate that division. San Francisco, though, they're still going to be very good. And we talked about Atlanta yesterday. I don't think Atlanta's necessarily locking in to win 13 games, but just what they have going on, I really like it. And I think this is a team that can win a lot of games, but I don't think they make much noise in the actual playoff itself. But in regular season, they'll be making some noise. The Green Bay Packers at 5. I think we all respect the Packers and know that they have a legitimate shot to win the NFC North. We're all Lions fans and saying that we think it's going to happen with the Detroit Lions, but there is a possibility that the Green Bay Packers are able to sneak up on them. And then the Rams. I know you have the Rams winning the NFC West, Jeff, but I just do not see it. I think that defense will be okay, but it's not going to be as good as it has been with Aaron Donald, Raheem Morris. Defensively, I think they take a step back. Offensively, I think they stay around the same. So I don't think they're winning that division, but they're going to make it interesting. And then Tampa sneaks in with that last spot, kind of how they did last year. They might not have been the last spot, but they're just going to sneak in.
I think we have the same NFC. We just swap. We have a different division winner for the NFC West. That's it. I think we have the same everything else.
But AFC,
not a bad NFC.
AFC a little funky. The Colts a little funky. I'm just saying.
It can be funky. There's always a surprise team. There's always one surprise team here.
To be honest, I was expecting. Oh, go on, Boone. Sorry.
No, I was just saying the Pittsburgh, the Steelers. Like I would not be shocked if they always are 9-8, always, and it just depends. Like if 9-8 gets you in, they're going to be in because they will be in 9-8 this year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Colts didn't really shock me, but more of Pittsburgh shocked me rather than the Colts. I kind of knew the Colts, you were going to pick them to win the division, obviously kind of stand on that take, but I don't actually hate the Colts or the Steelers, like Boone said. And they're always hovering around 500, so they definitely
I almost
could.
put them in mine.
It's just the cycle. Every year, people are like, how are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to make it to the playoffs? Look at the quarterback. Look at the weapons they have. And at the end of the year, the Pittsburgh Steelers are always in the hunt graphic, and they're at the bottom. But week by week, they find their way in. It comes down to tiebreakers. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they got better this offseason. So I'm not going to say that they're going to be missing the playoffs, especially when you look at the Bengals. Like, I think the Bengals are going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be as good as they have been in the past. So they might be able to sneak one on the Bengals. You never know.
Who do you have? Who do you have in the conference championship?
Conference championship game, I'm going to have the Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens. They can rerun that back, and then kind of surprising. Some people, I don't think it's surprising when we look at the teams. The NFC Championship boys, Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. I think that they're going to meet up. And I think the Lions walk out of there, and they're going to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Lions going to stop that three-peat. So I think the Chiefs Lions Super Bowl. Give me the Lions winning it. They're bringing that Lombardi home to Detroit.
I love that, Klotz. Hey, beat the Packers at home to go to the Super Bowl. Oh, my gosh. That would be one of the most satisfying things in my life.
Send Matt LaFleur sobbing back home. Eyebrows absolutely ruined. Can't do nothing about it.
Eyebrows shook up. I don't hate it. All right, Boone.
All right, here's the real list, boys. This is the one that matters. Over in the AFC. Number one in the AFC, probably number one in the NFL. I had them taking the over. I had them, I think, winning 13. I said, hey, I wouldn't be shocked if this is a football team that wins 14 football games this year. The Kansas City Chiefs. This is the best. This is what I was saying earlier at the beginning of the show. The people who are trying to say the Chiefs won't win this year, they're not going to be good. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl. This is the best version of the Kansas City Chiefs team that we have ever seen. The best. And the Kansas City Chiefs only get better and better and better as the weeks go on. They will be the best team in football at some point this year. I think the Lions are right there with them. And I just think this Kansas City, when you have Patrick Mahomes and you got a better football team than you did the last 2 years winning the Super Bowl, you will go back. So I've got the Kansas City Chiefs number one. Number two, the Houston Texans. I think they win about 12, 13 games, get the 2 seed, win that division. Number three, the Ravens. We're watching them right now, losing to the Chiefs. I think they're going to win that division there, and I think it's going to be a really good division. I just think the Ravens they have a great football team. We saw it. It's just they can't win in the playoffs. That's all it is. Like, they can win regular season games. John Harbaugh's a really good football coach. The man just has struggled in the playoffs over the last few years. Fourth, the only team that you guys have left off that I have, I think, is the Buffalo Bills. And you guys are going to have to eat crow at the end of this season. You're going to have to sit there and you guys are going to have to look. You're going to have to look at me. You guys are going to have to bow down to me and say, Booner, you were right. The Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. All right. The New York Jets, number 5. I think they're second in this division, and I think the New York Jets are going to be really, really good, actually. I think it's going to be Bills, Jets, and it's going to be a tough division. Then Cincinnati, the Bengals, they end up sneaking in as well in that Ravens division. And then I was figuring out in the 7th seed who to go. I didn't know what to do. I was between the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Los Angeles Chargers. and I roll with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Chargers are going to be right on the outside looking in with Jim Harbaugh and that football team. Over to the NFC, boys. This is where it really matters. Number one, the best team in football right now. I know I said the Chiefs, but the Chiefs right now, I'm talking about today. I'm talking about right now. The Detroit Lions are the number one team in my power rankings. They are the best team in football. Number two, the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know why there's that I there still, Jeff. It's interesting.
That's on me.
I love it, but hey, it's a flu game for you. If anyone didn't know, Jeff is a little under the weather. Flu game for my guy. He's pushing through. Shout out. Number three, I think the Philadelphia Eagles end up winning 13 games. I think it looked the Lions and the Eagles are at 13. Lions win the tiebreaker somehow, some way. I don't know how it works. But I think the Eagles are going to be in a spot for that 1 seed as well. And then the 49ers there, after they lose to the Lions, they'll drop to the 3 seed. Number 4, the NFC South winner, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that keep getting disrespected, and they keep winning football games, but they keep getting disrespected year after year without Tom Brady. Number 5, the second team in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers, the worst team in football. We all hate them, but they're going to be good this year. And then the Rams I have at 6. Jeff, I'm kind of with you a little bit on that. I'm kind of with you a little bit on this Rams thing. The Rams are going to be in the playoffs. There's no way you don't get to the end of the year. Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay is not sitting in the playoffs. So they'll be at 6. And then, guys, we actually have a similar NFC, except we, like Klotz, me and you had the same one, except we just have Tampa and Atlanta flipped. That's it.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty spot on with that. Like, I do think, like, I respect you guys for putting Tampa in. I will say that. I do respect, outside of the Bills thing, you guys just ignoring the Bills, a top 10 team in football. I do respect you guys putting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the playoffs this year because they are a good football team. They are.
I didn't put them in, Boone.
Yeah, that's tough for you. Tough look for you. That's 2. You Bills and the Bucks. All right.
Well, at least I didn't put the Jags in over them, Boone.
The Jags.
Yeah.
That's all right. My playoffs, my tournament. The tournament. I'm going to go through my tournament because I did a mini bracket here. I have week 1, the wild card matchup. Packers go on the road to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Green Bay Packers beat the Buccaneers to go to the second round to face off against the Lions. I have the 49ers beating the Rams to go to the second round, and I have the Eagles beating the Falcons. You get 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and you get the Lions versus the Packers. Great matchups. In the AFC, I have the New York Jets going on the road to the Buffalo Bills. You guys know my Buffalo Bills? You guys heard of them, right?
Yeah.
They lose to the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. They are going to lose to the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. The other games I have in the AFC, I have the Bengals going on the road to Baltimore, and the Baltimore Ravens destroying Joe Burrow in the Cincinnati Bengals. And then I have the Jacksonville Jaguars going on the road to the Houston Texans, and the Houston Texans slaying the Jaguars. I don't know if that's the animal control. I apologize for that. And then my second round matchups, I have the Chiefs at the Jets, and I have the Ravens at the Texans, and I have the hold on. I have the Ravens. I have the Ravens beating the Texans to face off against the Chiefs in the conference championship game. And then I have the Lions with the 49ers in the NFC championship game. My Super Bowl matchup, boys. Are you guys ready? Jared Goff, the Kansas City Chiefs rematch, baby, in New Orleans, baby. Massive matchup. And listen, this is what I want to tell you, boys. Let's wrap our heads around something real quick. You guys, throw that back up there one more. Throw that back up there, Jeff. Please throw that. I want you guys to look at these players right now, and I want everyone in the world to look at this matchup here. This, out of what number Super Bowl is it? 54, 55, 50. This right here is going to be the most anticipated and the biggest Super Bowl matchup in NFL history. You have the Detroit Lions, who have never played in a Super Bowl, have never won a Super Bowl, have been sniffing for a Super Bowl, the only team to ever go 0-16. Hey, lock in, boys. I'm talking. I'm trying to cook here. Lock in. 0-16, only 0-16 team. And then you have the three-peat coming with the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, locking in to try and get the first ever three-peat in football. It will be the most anticipated Super Bowl matchup of all time. It will be the biggest, most watched one ever in the city of Detroit. Will show up and show out. Jeff, throw the Super Bowl winner up. You boys all know. The one and only. The Detroit Lions, baby. You see that celebration? I know you guys remember that football game. I know you remember that football game. You see the Lions? Hold on. You see the Lions? We are going to go win the first ever Super Bowl. The Booner path right here will come to completion in February versus the Kansas City Chiefs. There's going to be no three-peat. There's going to be nothing. The Booner path gets completed in February. The Lions and Dan Campbell, Jared Goff beat the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Three-peat can be done a different year.
Wow. Boone, I mean,
Patrick Mahomes has made a Patrick Mahomes-ass
Dude.
fucking play, too.
That was my reaction to that. Like, holy
So
shit.
stupid.
This guy.
All right,
Xavier Worthy with another first down.
Hey,
Boom, that was electric.
Chiefs
though.
and Ravens are on.
Great performance.
It's electric,
Great performance.
Oh, it's all good.
so we all have the same Super Bowl matchup and the same Super Bowl winner, correct?
I believe so.
I guess so. I didn't
There's
realize.
just-
Lions.
I mean,
Chiefs
I just
are on,
don't see a way that the Chiefs don't make it out the AFC this year.
Did we all have Eagles and Lions NFC championship too?
49ers,
look at
Lions.
No,
this.
I had Packers.
Yeah, it's just me and you, Mike.
Okay. All right. Fair enough, Jeff.
Boone, you had Lions and who?
49ers.
Niners?
Yep.
I like it. I like it.
Like it, love it.
Well, there you go. That's our those are our playoff matchups. We got them officialized before game one, so they are solidified, and they are out in the ether. Now we can. This is all recorded, so now we have them. In the ether. Yep, I did just say that. Right now, for people that are tuning in, we appreciate you, by the way, for doing both, because I know Thursday Night Football's on. The opener of the NFL, Ravens Chiefs. Chiefs are up 10-7 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. I haven't been watching it too much, but all I can see is what both quarterbacks have a total of 4 incompletions.
Yeah, Kelsey just dropped one too.
Yeah, and those a couple of them dropped.
There was a whack. I mean, it was more so a great play by Trent McDuffie. The 49ers try to Ravens try to hide Zay Flowers on like a 4th and 2 behind the line of scrimmage, and Trent McDuffie just made a fucking play on it.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar completely whipped on his block. That'll be the downfall of the Baltimore Ravens right there is Nelson Aguilar. I don't know why they have so much faith in him. He's been stinking it up during camp. He's been a guy that's been inconsistent throughout his whole career, but they love that man in Baltimore.
I think that might have been Rashad Bateman, but either way, I think he'll be a liability no matter what. Yeah. Well, man, that Travis drop was.
Oh, was it like a big third down? Big third down
I
drop?
think it was only second down, but
It was bad, wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, listen, we got about 8 minutes.
Jeff, your hands in front of your
Yeah,
mouth.
we
I don't
we
think you
cannot.
can
I
hear
can't
it.
hear anything.
You want to just save the Rams Lions for tomorrow? We'll just do Rams
Yeah.
Lions. We got 8
Yeah.
minutes. I mean, we have 7. I mean, everyone's watching the game right now. So what we can do is tomorrow. No, there won't be football. Is there football on tomorrow? I'm scarred. now.
Packers,
yep,
Eagles.
Eagles, Packers. Yep.
Well, we got to put on a show. If there's a
Brazil.
game on, we still got to put a show on here, boys. We gotta,
I know.
keep this thing rolling.
I know. I just that's whatever.
It's tough, but
Yeah.
hey, welcome to Boone's World last year.
Yeah, this is
Got to find a way. No excuses. Aaron said Jeff's on Stream East budget. That's tough.
That's
Hey, RIP, man. Great
Yeah,
product,
the
great
GOAT.
service for years. That's why you can't have anything nice anymore.
take
Not
away.
harming anything. Not harming a damn thing.
no one. It's actually helping some people out.
It's growing the awareness of
What's
the
helping
NFL.
people
I'd
out?
rather have Stream East than Taylor fucking Swift. Tell you that much.
It's fair. For people that are here,
Don't do that. Don't do that. Taylor's the
fire
GOAT.
away
Okay.
mailbag. I mean, we could just get into some mailbag here. I mean, honestly, at this point. Yeah, I mean, we have 8 minutes till. I mean, now it's 6 minutes till 9:50. So, what do you guys think?
Who do you guys think wins tomorrow? Eagles, Packers. I think that
I think going to Brazil is one of the dumbest things in the world. Honestly,
When they said like wearing green is like a bad sign, like it's something like just with the affiliation of gangs, and then you throw in the fucking Philadelphia Eagles and Green Bay Packers, I think it's absurd. I just think that The NFL, I've been saying it once, say it, that they're trying to do too much. Like, the game was fucking perfect. Leave it how it was, but we're talking about who's going to win this game. I think the Packers are. I think Philadelphia in the secondary is definitely going to struggle a little bit. I think the front seven is going to be okay, but the Packers just have too many weapons. And I think when you look at, okay, I like Kellen Moore, I like Vic Fangio, but they're two offensive coordinators, offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. They're in there for the first weeks. The only thing with Green Bay is the defensive side, but offensively, they're going to be rolling right where they were last year. I think they're going to be in a better spot. And I think, hey, place your bets. Big game out of Jaden Reed tomorrow. I think he fucks him up.
I got him in fantasy.
Yeah, the spread Eagles are favored by 2 in that game, over under 49.5. So
yeah, I'm not a fan of going to Brazil and playing. I just think like I get going and trying to globalize the game. Like I get they go to Europe, but there's some places that unless they are confident in what they have, like security with what they have in their security and keeping the players safe. You see, like AJ Brown, what he said. There's like so many you can't do. The things you can't do, like you can't carry your phone around, you can't go outside. You know, like you can't.
Country. Go to Ireland or something.
Yeah, Brazil. Wasn't there a thing where like some of the soccer players there or the football players, they would get like killed over there if they?
Oh, bro, every soccer league, or I would be willing to bet damn near every soccer league owned by the cartel. They're just money machines for the cartel, and not to mention like going back, like it's the soccer capital of the fucking world. Like the NFL could be playing in Brazil, and probably 10 people in Brazil are going to be watching it because they're going to be watching soccer instead. Like Brazil doesn't give a fuck about the NFL. So let the NFL try to make some money, but you ain't going to be making. Send them to Europe, like Germany. I don't got any issue with. I think you can see the crowd there, but no.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. No, screw that. And you send the 2 teams that wear fucking green. Like I just
makes sense. Checks out. Imagine Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur just walking down Rio.
He gets
smacked out. Yeah, making a fucking block.
Yeah, no one should leave their hotels. There's no way.
This would be dope. Play in Alaska, that'd be dope. Go play in Alaska before you play in Brazil. Do that.
I don't know if Alaska does. I don't think Alaska has a stadium.
Play in Antarctica.
You make one.
I could be wrong. We have someone on a show who watches from Alaska, who's reached out. If they're in here, like. Is there even a stadium in Alaska?
Come on.
There are a lot of different places. Like the college football just went to Ireland. College game day did for week 0, and that was electric. Like they better go there next year instead of going to somewhere else. Like just anywhere, but like just don't put teams in bad spots. That's it. Maybe they thought when they were scheduling the game that it wasn't a bad spot, but it's still tough. Like you have to. I mean, you could just figure something out at that point.
I get sketch with that stuff, man. Luckily, the Lions aren't going there. I'm sure Brazil has great spots, very good people, but if you're you got to make sure these guys are guarded like the president. I mean, that's how these guys got to absolutely be guarded like the president. I mean, that's just how it's going to have to be.
My buddy's actually in Brazil right now, and
for the game.
No, he's not. He's just there on vacation. And he said it's not like any of the stereotypical stuff that's being said about it.
I'm sure it's got his pockets.
Yeah, I mean,
pockets.
But, I mean, he said
like safe pockets. Like everywhere around there is kind of shaky. You stay on the resort, you'll be cool. So don't travel off the resort.
Yeah. That's always the tough part, especially with me and you, Lucas. We're always adventuring wherever we go. We gotta go sightseeing. We gotta go see everything.
Brazil, out of all places, too. Gentry.
We'll leave it alone.
Let's see. Andrew Jones, Mailbag, U of M versus Texas. Who you got?
Oh, God.
Probably give our picks out tomorrow. I'll say this. What's that?
I think it's still going to be closer than we expect. It's not going to be a blowout.
I have a game of the year in this game tomorrow. Bet. So just know that.
Do you want to give it to us right now, Boo?
I'm not giving it to you now. It's going to be tomorrow, boys, for our pick segment. The Booner game of the year. One of the biggest picks I'll have all season long will be in this football game.
All right.
Fair.
Could
What's
be
the
on
spread
either
on that game?
Could be
get
either
into it.
side. You guys know I'm a very realistic person too. If my team's bad, I'm gonna let you know. So, game of the year tomorrow.
Texas or Michigan plus 7.5 right now.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. I think this game. I'll tell you what I think tomorrow. We'll get to it. Davis Ward. Gonna be tough. Coach Rock 37 Mailbag. Fuck Mary Kill Taylor Swift, Stevie Y, and Jim Harbaugh.
He said that was for me. I cannot answer that.
Yeah, that's just Gentry. Just Gentry.
Cannot answer that.
Yeah, he doesn't know who to pick.
Yeah, I think Gentry would just fuck them all. I mean, like at this point,
You take them all home.
Yeah,
We're one big family.
3 phases with all 3 of them.
Yeah,
One big family.
Yeah.
Big
Burning
family.
issues, Mailbag. How many receptions does Panay have this year? Over under.
Over
It's gotta be
under
over under a half.
1.5. 1.5.
No, it's got to be a half.
Oh, over.
I think he gets
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, he's gonna have one.
Yeah, I think he's got one.
Do extra points count?
No.
No.
Hey,
Well,
what?
still
Still a
one.
catch.
Yeah, I
Man.
still count it.
All right, I'll go over on that too. Let's see, Tyler Mailbag. How many points does Bowling Green beat Penn State by? Yeah, no way. They're not losing.
419 dogs. There's a couple 419 dogs over there for the
Pretty-
Falcons.
no way. No way.
Penn State's not losing to Bowling Green.
That'd be so embarrassing after fucking pouncing on West Virginia.
It would be very Penn State like.
Watch out for those Falcons. Michigan fans know. JJ McCarthy knows. Watch out for those Falcons.
Jesus.
Hey, Panda Sam says it wasn't actually because of gangs that was a rumor from a player. It's just that the rival soccer team of the team that plays in that stadium main color is green.
Oh,
I can see that causing issues, though.
Yeah,
I can still see that causing issues.
I can see that.
They're fucking soccer down there.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
or Mark Andrews catches a ball and it's fucking flag. God damn.
Oh, boys, I am ripping ass right now. I don't know what I ate.
What?
I am fighting demons right now. Oh,
I seen Steve brought it up earlier, but I don't think there's been a kickoff that's been actually returned yet.
hey,
It's all
did you see the Chiefs kick returner, Carson Steele?
Yeah, dude,
That's
you
Mike
see-
Allscott 2.0 running at him, bro. That dude's fucking scary. That's the last guy I'd want to tackle in the NFL right now. Carson Steele on a kick return. I'm getting out the way. No
Yeah,
way, no how.
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't think one has actually been returned yet. I'm pretty sure they've all been touchbacks. So
No, Carson Steele let one out.
oh,
He
did
did.
he? Oh.
Yeah. Alan, you don't want to get in the way. He should return it every time. It could be at the fucking back inch line of the end zone. You let him run it out.
Carson Steele.
He's taking 2 or 3 people out. And running.
Why does that sound like a dude? That's like
He's a Dan
big
Campbell guy
name.
that found his way in Kansas City.
He doesn't sound real. Carson Steele. I mean, that is like
Send a 7th round pick, whatever you want, but get that man in Detroit. He would be a legend in Detroit. A
He really would
legend.
be.
Putting him back there instead of Leaf, give me that. You put Steele and Vaki back there to return some kicks. Let it leave when Steele doesn't get it. You let him lead block. The man's a fullback. Mm-hmm.
Carson Steele.
Runs a 4.5. Dude's fucking nuts.
That's ridiculous.
You don't find white boys built like that anymore. Corn-fed white boy.
Steve, we'll get back to this Mike Reed question, but Steve said he's got a pet alligator.
He does. That was his claim to fame, but the dude can play ball. Like he's not just a myth.
White running backs used to be a myth. Tyler
John
said.
Riggins, you kidding me? The Rig Show?
Jeez.
That was a
Mike
wild
Reed says,
time for football.
Yo, fellas, should I wear a Sub-Zero costume for the Lions home games this year? Boone, what do you think?
For
What do
sure.
you think?
Sub-Zero, baby. Why
Absolutely.
not?
Well, that wasn't very enthusiastic, Boone.
Rock
Yeah.
You wear a goddamn Sub-Zero costume or no?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wear a
he's-
Sub-Zero costume.
For sure. No, no, I don't even know where you. I mean, Mike,
I don't
you
even
might
know what
look.
a Sub-Zero
Yeah,
costume
it
would
just
look
depends. Are you showing up?
It's isn't Sub-Zero like a character?
From Mortal Kombat.
Dude,
Jeez,
yep.
come on, guys. You know that. We have his shirt.
That's
on
why
the
I
back.
figured it was.
I played outside as a kid. My fault.
Oh,
Nah, don't do that. Mortal Kombat, legendary.
oh, that's funny as hell, actually. Oh gosh. Coach Walk says, "How do you onside kick? How do you do? What do you? I don't know what do you mean. How
I
do
think
you,
it's the
how do you
same-
onside kick the new kickoff rules?
I think it's the same
Yeah.
exact thing, but you can no longer like you have to tell the other team, hey, we're gonna onside kick it.
Mhm.
There's no more
is.
like fakes or anything.
Steve just tipped us off. Said onside kick can only occur in the fourth quarter. You have to be losing and must notify the other team that you're attempting an onside kick.
That makes the
I
Pat
forgot it was only the
McAfee,
fourth.
that makes the
Makes
Pat
sense.
McAfee onside kick just even more like historic. The one where he recovered it on his own and faked it, where they just had like a normal kickoff and there was just a big gap in the middle of the field and he just kicked it and just ran up there and grabbed it on his own. Like that's one of the most all-time plays in NFL history.
It's
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
for
changes things a little bit. I mean,
That and even like the Super Bowl between the Colts and the Saints, where Sean Payton laid his nuts out on the table coming out of halftime, swung the whole direction of the game. Onside kick coming out of halftime in the Super Bowl is fucking crazy. The fact that they actually got it too.
yeah.
Justin Tucker just missed a kick. And a gimme too. Wow. Wow. Ravens
He's washed. He's washed.
Justin Tucker out, Jake Bates in. Best kicker in the NFL.
It's Jake Bates. It's Jake Bates time. He's passing the crown. That's what he's doing.
Hey, Klotz. Hey, Justin. Klotz. Bad player. Missed a field goal. Not consistent.
Yeah. He ain't going in the Hall of Fame now. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Yep. Rare Justin Tucker L, to be honest. Usually he makes those.
It's like he just completely falls off the face of the earth this year. Just unnecessary decline.
Well, it's 13-7. About to be in a halftime. It's like, hey, this is how you start off week one here, boys. I mean, this is just absolute grit.
My fantasy team's kind of hating it, though. I'm not going to lie. That boy Mahomes could have had 2 tutties by now. Nope.
I actually have Mahomes in my other league as well. Let's see.
Hurting. Just give me something. How much time's left? Minute 50, 2 minute drill hit, Patty. Come on. Sitting at 4.68. Let's get to like 10.2 by the end of half. On pace to hit 20, projected 19.8. Keep us on track here.
Yeah, I have Mahomes in my other league, so it's getting tough.
I got Derrick Henry going right now.
Yeah.
The dude
Could
that
be a
I'm
little
playing
better.
against had Rasheed Rice in his flex and moved him out last second. Thank God.
Ooh.
Well,
That was one of the players that I wish I had a chance or an opportunity to draft. It just never
Mhm.
kind of fell that way for me, but
Who's
Rasheed
that?
Rice is going to go nuts. Rasheed
Rasheed
Rice.
Rice.
Should have got Xavier Worthy.
honestly, I wasn't sure about. I didn't know how he'd look. I mean, he only has
Looks
he's got one catch, but that run play, like you see, the dude can run. I mean, in this offense, it'll be good. And with Hollywood Brown out, it's going to open up some opportunities for him even more. He's just so skinny. He's $165.
Yeah.
God. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, 165 is kind
He's in the perfect spot, though. He needed to land at either Kansas City or Miami, and he did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and I know the whole, like, they kind of took that play right out of the Lions playbook. I mean, it's not that it hasn't been done before, but it was kind of, hey, we saw J-Mo do it. They do it with Xavier Worthy. It works. We'll see.
Hell yeah, brothers.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at this game right now. I mean, I got a parlay in, and the only thing I'm really worried about, to be honest with you boys, is where the hell is Mark Andrews? Thank God I didn't draft him in fantasy. I mean, geez.
I just said it. I don't
Was
know
that
how
on
much.
Worthy?
Wait, what?
Isaiah Likely. He's the man now.
Yeah, he's caught a
No,
couple.
Mark
of them.
Andrews caught a ball, but it got called back. So I don't know how many yards was actually for, but
Patrick Mahomes interception.
Really?
Well, Mahomes just did the exact opposite of what I needed him to do. He threw a pick instead of throwing a touchdown, so that's great. Patty Goat.
Gosh. All right.
Wow.
Well,
that was a weird looking pass, but yeah.
we need Mahomes to play well here. I need this
Gotta
win.
lock in.
I need this win. All right.
This is good for us.
That's good. It's good.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Appreciate all you guys, man. Tune in tomorrow. We'll have our at least a big show planned for the weekend, and then we'll be back on Sunday previewing the Lions game. So you're gonna want to be there. Don't watch. Hey, screw. Who wants to watch football? I mean, come on. Football's all right. I mean, it's all right.
Boys.
All right, it's not bad, but Crunch Time Sports is the place to be tomorrow, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Be there, buy your merch, officialctsports.com, and follow us on all social media platforms above me, and leave a 5-star review on our any podcast platform you're listening to us on. Until tomorrow, we'll catch you guys.